Your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys have started interviewing for that vacant defensive coordinator job. Outside candidates include Mike Zimmer and Ron Rivera. Jerry Jones said on Saturday interviews were to begin this morning. Joe Witt Jr. no longer a candidate for that because he's going to Washington with Dan Quinn to be his defensive coordinator. And USA Today is reporting that Ohio State offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien is going to Boston College to be their head coach.
Yikes.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Live in Las Vegas. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Kicking off, we had a great night last night in Vegas.
We did, but I got to do this. I have to.
All right.
As soon as we walked in here yesterday, we're setting up all this stuff. There were a couple of radio shows doing their shows, and I must have heard it 5 times. You ready? Viva Las Vegas.
Oh, good Lord.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I feel better now.
Do you feel better?
Yes.
I didn't hear one person do that.
Well, I did.
Who?
You didn't pay attention.
The only guy in here doing a show yesterday was Tony Bruno.
Well, he did it.
Well, I mean, he's old enough to have
5
seen Elvis
times.
live. Did he really?
He really did. So I thought, man, that's a great idea. I have to do that.
Yeah.
You know, when in Rome.
When in Rome.
You got to do it.
Well, I mean, you think about, and this is an interesting question, and I know, Ryan, I don't know if you're paying attention because he's out sick today with food poisoning. Yeah,
the bad fish.
Yeah, bad fish apparently. We need a poll of when you think Vegas entertainers, who is the number one entertainer you think of? This was a great debate yesterday that RJ Ochoa completely missed, and I know it bothered him all throughout the morning huddle because all of us said the same guy. And I'm not even sure if RJ Ochoa knows who that guy is.
He doesn't. He admitted it. And you even played an old for him to listen to. And he, but we all said Wayne Newton, right? I mean, we think of Vegas, you kind of think of Wayne Newton. You could go Elvis. I guess you could go Rack Pat with Frank Sinatra and those guys. But Wayne Newton's kind of Mr. Vegas.
He is, well, that or Carrot Top. I mean, when
Carrot Top.
or Copperfield, or, I mean, and I'm thinking of people that are still alive and performing. And RJ Ochoa from the Morning Huddle says Britney Spears. Yeah. Britney Spears. I mean, Britney Spears. Now, granted, I've seen the Britney show here, but that's not top of mind.
No, it's not. And I don't think she's been here for a while. Now, Celine Dion was here for a long, long time, and that was a good show. But, I don't know. I just think old school guys. And Wayne Newton was the first one that came to mind. Swampy was the same way. You were the same way. Yeah. Wayne Newton.
The goal this week is to get Wayne Newton on the air. Or at the very least, a photo with Wayne Newton.
Well, I mean, we're in Vegas, right? Wayne Newton's the guy, so.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think I want the photo more than I mean, I want the interview, but I don't know the hell I'd ask him. Like, how much plastic is on your face?
Dude, a lot. That dude, man, he's keeping his plastic surgeon paying for college and stuff for all his kids and grandkids. That dude's he's been worked on a time or two.
A time or two is for sure. So lots to do there as we get things going with the idea of Super Bowl Radio Row. Cowboys aren't here again, but they're going to dominate the news cycle because they don't have a defensive coordinator. One of the guys that they are talking to, Mike Zimmer, is in line. Not really exciting, the most that you've seen so far on, fan reaction, a little bit higher maybe than Ron Rivera, but not much. But he was in Dallas before. Is he a good hire? Andrew Sendejo, former Smithson Valley Ranger, played a lot of his NFL career for Mike Zimmer. He's going to join us at 5 o'clock San Antonio time live. He's standing to our left right now, but he's going to be on with us at 5 o'clock, and we'll get some insight into what it would be like to have Mike Zimmer as the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, because apparently that's where they've got to go.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Either Rivera or Zimmer, man. I'm not really excited about that, but okay. Zendejo's got some great hats.
He does.
Do you see that? It says "Make football violent again."
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
or something to that.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Okay,
exactly. What
and I agree with him.
Well, and
because he was one of the most violent hitters to play NFL football.
Yes.
And I mean that in a good way, by the way.
Well, the old school. Yes. That's exactly what it is. We'll talk a lot about what the Cowboys are doing coming up here throughout the show. Lots to talk. Lots of people to talk with, and including a former general manager, Thomas Dimitroff. Get some insight on what Jerry and Stephen and Wilma Clay are facing this offseason with the contract that they've got to rework, like what they have with Dak Prescott, and then other guys paid, and how you kind of play the game of balancing all of that out to make sure everybody, for the most part, is happy.
Well, yeah. Do you make everybody happy? That's going to be the question.
Well, fans aren't included there. I'm talking about the guys getting their paychecks.
Well, even some of those guys aren't. I mean, remember how upset Dak Prescott was for being franchise tagged a couple of times, even though he made a lot of money under that tag, but still. I mean, sometimes you can't make everybody happy. It's going to be an interesting conversation with Thomas coming up here in just a moment. Because there's a lot to talk to him, stuff that he would know, the kind of inside baseball of what's going on behind the scenes. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, he'll be on with us in about 25 minutes or so, 2:30 San Antonio time. He will be on with us. And look, I apologize if we're going back and forth on times, because all of our guests are scheduled Vegas time, but if I said 12:30, then it's already past 12:30.
People say, "Man, I missed it."
Yes, you haven't done that. So that's really for us to keep it straight, as opposed to you. But it helps keep it straight for you guys.
Well, I still have my watch on San Antonio time. So if I look at my watch, it is about 2:07.
Well, that's kind of what
San Antonio.
That's what you did last night. I mean, we were out. I mean, and credit Rob and RJ and the Morning Huddle. And I love the new name of the morning show.
Absolutely,
the Morning Huddle. They went to bed. They did not go out last night. They were good boys. We went out, and Joe is sitting there, and at one point he goes, "It's 3 a.m. It's time to go."
Well, I was going by my body clock at that point in time.
But you were looking at your wrist.
It's like,
it's
wow.
3 a.m. We got to go.
Yeah. Dude, I had a blast last night. Out, a little gambling, some entertainment, nice piano bar there at Harrah's, and that was a lot of fun. So we kicked it off right. Now, we've got to go to work today, and we've got some work stuff tonight and tomorrow. So I don't know when we'll be back at the tables, but I didn't do so great at the blackjack tables last night.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I you're right. Actually, you did. You did better than you thought.
Yeah.
Because we played for a long time.
We did.
At a couple of different casinos, but we were at that table for probably an hour each. And, eventually you had to leave. It's not like you left in five hands. And so, but we all had to come to work today. Although I would say, you left. Erica and I, my daughter, is with us out here in Las Vegas as our helper. And that's a problem that I knew was going to happen, but I didn't really think it through. That I'm basically, my gambling money is doubled up. See, she'll say, "Oh, just give me 10." But if I throw out 100, she wants 100, right?
Give her 10.
Well, I mean, no, it's
you can't even get a cup of coffee for that.
Well, and it was a $15 minimum table. But when she first asked, like, well, how much money do you want to gamble with? Oh, give me 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go find a penny slot.
Times
we're
10.
going to play blackjack. Although she played this one penny slot machine for, I don't know, seemingly forever. I mean, I had 2 beers waiting on her, and she got $22 whole out of that.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, so that was not bad on her $10. But we were playing blackjack. You left, but you had a slot machine that was very good to you. Made up for all that you lost at the blackjack table.
Made up for all of that. I was very happy about that. I gave a little of that back, but overall, Overall, it was a good night, and it was a lot of fun. It really was. I can't wait to get back out there because I saw some casinos last night I'd never been in.
Well, you need a tetanus shot to go into them.
Well, some of them, yeah, and that's kind of the theme of this trip. As we go out again at whatever time we do that, we're going to hit I don't want to call them low life.
The lesser. The lesser.
Right.
The ones that aren't a part of, because one, traffic sucks and it's only Monday.
Yes.
Right. And it's awful weather. The flooding on the streets here is ridiculous. And apparently it's going to rain like this for the next 3 days. Right. But you look at like Monday night, tonight, Tuesday, we've got things that we've got to do. Wednesday is our next big let's go out night. And Rob Thompson promises he wants to go out Wednesday night. And we're going to take Joe to the El Cortez.
Never been there.
Because he's never been.
I want to see it.
And so I think that will be the Wednesday night plan. But we'll see. So, yeah, we'll do some gambling. But last night, I was even at the blackjack table. But I had something happen last night at the blackjack table that generally, if that happens, you are on some sort of a big heater and have something to really brag about. Yeah. I had a blackjack 3 hands in a row.
3 in a row.
3 hands in a row. And generally, if that happens, you are on a roll. The problem is I had a whole bunch of losses on either side of those 3. And so it ended up being about even.
Well, and that is absolutely true. But, yeah, and you were a little nervous about putting some more cash out there.
Well, again, because if I did, I had to, whatever I was doing, my kid was doing. So I was being a little conservative. I mean, we had the same amount of cash out there. I just had it out there for 2 people.
I think it's hilarious because I can sit there and laugh at you. And I got nervous one time. Erica's there, and I don't know what the dealer had, like a 5 showing, and she had a 4, and she was about to hit that thing, and I'm like, no, I think I knocked her out. Yeah. I'm not sure, but
she's learning.
She did good.
She's learning.
She did really good. So it was a lot of fun, and it's just cool. The vibe out here in Las Vegas is just different, and as everybody that's been here knows, especially when there's a big event like this, and this is perhaps the biggest, the vibe is just it's sensational. So
it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun coming up here on Radio Row, our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage, powered up by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Cowboys don't have a defensive coordinator who we thought wanted this as a dream job. Instead is going to the enemy with Dan Quinn. What does that mean for the Cowboys? We'll dive into that coming up next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray, casting, and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
woo! I think you gonna get away with it. Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Do you ever feel hot spots or cold drafts around your home while watching your favorite team play? Your windows may be to blame. Call Maverick Windows today at 800-972-3631 and sign up for a free quote and get back in the end zone. That's 800-972-3631.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a click away. Order online and pick up at your local store. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's O Rewards Bonus Points Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Shop in-store or online to earn points and get rewarded at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Check out the Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
If you're San Antonio, there are benefits that come along with it. I will cut you the front of the line. We're going to hype the return.
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jay Semenix in Las Vegas for our AA Best Bail Bonds Super Bowl Radio Row coverage. It's going to be a great week out here thanks to Synergenics Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And, you know, it's interesting when you think about the big game coming up Sunday, but all these coaching staffs that are still getting filled. Now, Dan Quinn, as we know, is the head coach of Washington. He hired Cliff Kingsbury. Now, what's interesting is they announced Cliff Kingsbury, the former New Braunfels Unicorn, as their offensive coordinator, but they never made any kind of announcement about Eric Bieniemy, the old offensive coordinator. Well, Dan Quinn said today, I think he's an excellent coach. I had a chance to visit with him today. We'll continue that dialogue, but we're not going to work together here. So my guess is that means Eric Bieniemy is not going to be on the Washington staff.
You know what? I don't know what it is about Eric Bieniemy, and I mean that because I really scratch my head. Everybody says what an offensive genius this guy is, but yet nobody seems to be willing to give him that head coaching job, and now Dan Quinn would rather have Cliff Kingsbury than Eric Bieniemy. So I don't know if there's something behind the scenes that we just don't know about, but it is kind of odd, don't you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, in a lot of ways, because the stuff that he was in the news for that was negative many, many, many years ago was so long ago. Clearly, people can't still be holding that against him when you consider other people that have had far worse, seemingly able to get their second chance, their next opportunity, and overcome it. So Eric Bieniemy out, Cliff Kingsbury in. All arrows point to Caleb Williams becoming a Washington Commanders quarterback with the draft coming up, and he's from that area, blah, blah, blah. It makes all the sense in the world if that's what they ultimately end up doing, which is why initially, remember last week, I was like, I don't know why Cliff is going to Oakland. I mean, they're drafting a quarterback so late. I mean, who knows? But the Cowboys have to find another defensive coordinator because Joe Witt Jr. scheduled to meet with Jerry this morning, but that ain't happening. He took the Commander's job last night when Dan Quinn offered it to him.
And I think that's interesting. I think it says a lot about Mike McCarthy and his situation. I really do. I think there's legs to that. And we'll talk to Thomas Dimitroff coming up in a moment, the former GM for the Atlanta Falcons, and I want to get his take. Is having a lame duck head coach, does that hold you back in a lot of ways? And I'm going to be interested to hear what his answer is. But look, they all love Dan Quinn, Joe Witt Jr. included. So he's going off there to be the defensive coordinator, Kingsbury the offensive coordinator. That's kind of a scary bunch.
It is in a lot of ways, especially if they fill the talent. And I look at Joe Witt Jr. and I just did Dallas fumble this, or did Dallas not want Joe Witt Jr. as their coordinator? Because you've known for a while that Dan Quinn was leaving. If Joe Witt was your guy, that would have been a quick, easy announcement. But, we're going to interview this guy. We're going to interview that guy. If you're Joe Witt Jr., Dan Quinn's offering you a job. Jerry's making you interview, and he's interviewing other people. You've got to take the job when it's offered. Otherwise, Dan Quinn's going to hire somebody else. And then you've got the lame duck coach aspect of it. Well, at the FIFA announcement, Dallas is getting 9 games, but not the final. Jerry, of course, was asked about what is going on with their defensive coordinator search.
We're interviewing. We're basically have been planning meetings. I'm not going to get into who we're interviewing, but we have interviews beginning at 9 in the morning. I do.
Tomorrow.
What
kind of timeline are you looking at on that?
Don't have a timeline on it, but again, don't have a timeline.
Nothing will be announced next week with the Super Bowl, right?
I don't know.
Even if you make a decision.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know that.
It's been
upstage the Super Bowl.
Of course he will. He's Jerry Jones. He can do that. It'll be interesting to see. There's really no big hurry, I guess. Especially if you're hiring a guy like Mike Zimmer, who knows, the neighborhood, knows where the bathrooms are. So, I mean, I don't think there's a big hurry to get it done, and I think Jerry sees it that way. My thought process is, who else? Is he interviewing anybody else besides Ron Rivera or Mike Zimmer? And with Jerry, you just don't know.
Well, and you look at, you think about, okay, his history of wanting his coordinators to have prior head coaching experience. So did that take out Joe Witt Jr.? Is there somebody else that we're not thinking of, which is entirely possible? We just have, no clue yet. But I know most fans don't seem excited about either one of those names, although I'm not opposed to Mike Zimmer coming back. His defenses were kind of all over the place in Minnesota and whatnot, but kind of that old school mentality that's going to be a hard coach that I think might coach Micah Parsons a little bit harder than what Micah Parsons has been coached.
Well, somebody needs to. It's funny. We were talking about that this morning there at the house with all the guys. And I tell you, Micah needs a little reining in, if you will, just as far as just being more of a good teammate. So maybe an old school guy like Mike Zimmer will get that done. Because I'll be honest with you, if that's what you're talking about, then that's what the Cowboys are looking for. I don't think Ron Rivera is that guy at all.
Well, I mean, maybe. You got to figure out how to get the most out of Micah Parsons. And then you've got to deal with having a lame duck head coach. And how much does that hurt potential candidates? And again, if you're taking a job and joining a staff where the idea is that guy might not be the coach after a year, it's a risky decision, especially if you're a young up-and-coming coach like a Joe Witt Jr. I say younger, not a Mike Zimmer or a Ron Rivera who's cashed head coaching paychecks for a whole lot of years that don't necessarily need to work. Do you want the guy that's trying to be a coordinator for a year to get back to being a head coach? Or is it all system and scheme? And is that what Jerry is looking at with his head coach on who are they going to hire?
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, can you imagine if people aren't excited about Mike Zimmer or Ron Rivera, and if that's Jerry's thought process and something happens with McCarthy and you insert one of those guys in, I think Cowboy fans going to go nuts. No, you're not. So you'd be okay with a Mike Zimmer or a Ron Rivera.
I mean, well, with the scenario you just laid out, you know, if things are that bad next year where Mike McCarthy gets fired midseason, who the hell cares who the interim coach is? Because it's going to be an entirely new staff, and next year would be lost. So it's not like they would put him in there and he's going to be the next head coach for 5 years. I mean, it would be a sinking boat for next season anyway.
But you don't see. The thing is, I'm assuming that Mike McCarthy is going to have another great regular season.
Well, then he's not going to get fired mid-year and have that coordinator put in as an interim basis.
Well, I'm not talking about an interim basis. I'm talking about him getting fired after the playoffs, and then you just insert a Zimmer or a Ron Rivera.
If he has a good year, he'll get a contract.
Not if he stumbles in the playoffs. He won't.
Yeah, well.
I mean, he almost got canned this year.
So your definition of good year and mine are different. I think good year. I think success in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Not getting embarrassed in the first round again.
Oh, exactly. So I don't think McCarthy gets fired. I think the guy will last because he will have, barring something, going wrong like a rash of injuries or something like that. But I mean, man, you talk about not being excited about either one of those guys running your franchise. Ouch.
Let's talk about what it means to have a DC interview. Contracts coming up. Former GM Thomas Dimitroff will join us next live here in Las Vegas. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Road coverage continues. Brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. And I tell you what, guys, Synergenics can help you conquer your New Year's resolutions if your resolution was to be a little bit more active, to get out and do more. Because if you're dealing with a lack of energy, motivation, possibly low libido, those could all be caused by low T levels. Your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. So if you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. At Synergenics, they exclusively specialize in testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And with the convenience of their on-site lab at Synergenics, you get your results back on your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. So book your appointment now for Synergenics. Go to their website, fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, day 2 of Media Row. We'll look at what went down on the big media night. What was crazy? Who'd we see? Lots to report on.
The Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator situation continues to be fascinating. We have some thoughts, and we want the brigade bright and early with us at 6 a.m. to start. Bring the coffee and maybe a donut or two. We're ready to roll. We huddle up at 6.
Hey, I'm Chelsea, and a little thing I like about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is I think it's just a perfect combination of ingredients. The pepper jack cheese and that spiciness of the sandwich. It's the right type of spice and the right amount of spice. It's crunchy on the outside, but then really tender on the inside. And then obviously the pickles on the bottom are iconic. There are too many things I like about it. I don't know if I can finish the thought.
Bring on the spice and order the Chick-fil-A Spicy Deluxe Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music.
This is Mommy's jam.
Then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
My car.
but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleanse are nice, but in between, I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high temperature performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through March 4th, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic and an oil filter for $36.99. Only at AutoZone.
Claim based on Sequence 3 H test versus API SP test limits.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Yeah, I caught my first fish, Dad.
Great job, buddy. He's a beauty.
Thanks for taking me fishing. Love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the boat's always ready for those magical father-son moments. Who knows, maybe someday he'll actually like fishing. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at SanAntonioLASIK.com.
Folks, there's nothing romantic about home repairs, but when your plumbing has lost that love and feeling and your AC is about to achy break your heart, call Quarterman Plumbing, Heat, and AC at 210-651-5899. We'll fix the issue fast at a great price with a servant spirit.
Joel, this is a special Valentine gift from me to you.
Yeah, but why are your arms red?
I got a deal on this plant for your office.
That's poison ivy, Nigel.
It's what?
Border Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number M16004. DACLA 000743458.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. In Vegas, our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Thomas Dimitroff, former general manager, will be by shortly.
Yes, yeah.
At day one and already behind schedule.
Well, that's what happens at Radio Row sometimes, right? Sometimes they show up early, sometimes they're running a little bit late, so it's no big deal. He will be here and interested to talk to him. I'm seeing Josh Martinez on our YouTube channel, or it's Menharis. I'm sorry, Josh. I apologize. He said he used to live here in Vegas, and there's a place we got to go to called Pizza Rock at Green Valley Ranch. You ever heard of it?
No.
Sounds delicious.
Well, it does, although,
And Riggs Steakhouse, he says, in Summerlin. But I'm not sure where those places are. Because like I was telling you, I mean, we get here yesterday, and you're talking about this place and going here, and I'm like, dude, when I get here, whatever hotel I'm staying at is pretty much where I'm at for 3 days.
Well, see, and that's I bounce around a little bit.
Yeah.
And so last night we were having a lot of fun.
And we were.
It was crazy. Like, you've never been here?
No.
But yeah, no, good times for sure last night. And we'll Google some of those. Here's the one thing about a Vegas recommendation from somebody you don't know.
Yeah.
We have no idea what that guy is sending us to. You know what I mean? Like those could be code words for all kinds of different things.
Well, they could be. But that, just looking at this guy, seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, they're all nice guys until they get to Vegas. That's why there's a saying, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Ah, okay.
You see what I mean?
Exactly.
We would have to do some Google research on that place before we were like, there's a ranch at the end of it, right?
There's a ranch.
Yeah. So we got to check and make sure. You see what I mean?
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Pizza Rock?
Pizza Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rock, Bunny Ranch.
The Green Valley Ranch.
Oh.
And I don't even know.
I know. But isn't there a Bunny Ranch?
Well, yes, there is.
See, Pledge got me there.
Yeah.
That went right over your head, didn't it?
What?
Are you just trying to avoid it? Hey,
yes,
we're out here radio. We can take some liberties. We're in Vegas.
Yeah, we can't. That was weird. Yeah, we gotta go home. Dude, it's only 1.
I know
we're in Vegas.
I know it. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It is definitely crazy, but that's the way it goes. And we're out here in Vegas having a good time. Obviously, this weekend is one of the big days when it comes to grilling. If you've done some grilling over the last couple of days, make sure you get those photos uploaded at sasportstar.com, our Grilling with the Blitz page, because every Thursday we give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market, the Hebner Road location, and an extra $50 leading into Super Bowl weekend is going to be fantastic, and certainly what you guys need to do. So do that at sasportstar.com. What's up, Thomas? Come on over here.
Come on over here if you would. Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry, you have to endure us for a little while, okay? How you doing, Thomas? Joe Reinagel. All right.
Good stuff.
Welcome.
How's radio? Thomas Dimitroff, former general manager, joining us now here live on the Blitz. It's Radio Row. It's day 1, and we're already behind schedule, huh? Is it a hard walk? Because I saw you over there. You talked to that person. You talked to that person. It's difficult. Well, hang on. It helps if we turn stuff on.
Is that good?
Yeah.
There you go.
I think as a former general manager, like I see people along the way and they're like, what the heck are you doing on Media Row? Because I used to come here and I had like 2 or 3 or 5 different interviews when I was with the Falcons. And now I'm with a company, Sumer Sports. It's a data analytics company, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm here trying to promote a little bit, but then it inevitably very quickly goes to Bill Belichick, Dan Quinn, like all the people that I've worked with, of course, Arthur Blank, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, how did you know we were going to go there? How did you know?
Kind of.
We're Cowboys country.
Yeah.
So we lose Dan Quinn. Not unexpected. He takes Joe Witt Jr. last night as the defensive coordinator. Now Jerry's got to go find a defensive coordinator. Take us through the process of what it's like. What is Jerry and Steven and Will McClay, Mike McCarthy, what that process is?
Well, look, when you lose a guy of Dan's stature, and I love Dan, I'm so happy he got the job. And I know there's been a couple other years here and there where maybe he could have left and whatever. But I've always thought that he was kind of in the wings. Like I thought maybe he would. Maybe you guys think differently. And I personally didn't look at the final game saying, well, he shouldn't be a head coach. When I heard people complaining about that, I think that's a really shallow element. I guess my point in the end is you have a guy of Dan's ability to try to replace him. Who's the name? Are they talking about Zimmer?
Zimmer's one. Ron Rivera's another.
And why is Mike Vrabel not a part of that conversation?
By the way, why is Mike Vrabel not? Does he not?
That's a great.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have fired Mike Vrabel, would you?
No, and well, I mean, look, I want to dig into why that is, right? I know 2 of the guys that were GMs. John Robinson got fired the year before. John's a really good. He's a Patriot paradigm guy. We were all together there, and then Rand Carthon, after a year, all of a sudden he's out, right? So was Mike that much of a power guy that they just couldn't deal with him? Mike is a tough ass guy. Can I say that word?
Yes, you can. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can say that word.
Tough ass. I like that.
Yeah,
but he is. I mean, I said to people, it's unfathomable that Bill Belichick doesn't have a job, Mike Vrabel doesn't, and before Dan got his job, I thought, are there going to be 3 guys like this who are really, really good football player people and leaders? Are they not going to have a job? And are they all 3 defensive guys by trade? Right, which is another point. So I'm jumping around with the last point on. You got a lot to do there in Dallas to try to find the right person, because following up on Dan Quinn, you guys know that. I mean, he's
passion.
a great guy to love too, right? And be behind because he's just that.
Players love him. Yeah.
I've never met players, and I was with Mike Smith, who was a darn good coach, and he won 3 Coach of the Year in 5 years. I don't know how many players or agents and the players would come into my office and say, "I'm telling you, Thomas, if you cut me, I don't care what you bring me back at. I want to come back and play with Dan Quinn." And that's not fabricated at all. It happened time and again. Instead of like, "Thomas, you cut me, I'm going to skewer your ass in the social media." They were all saying, "I love Dan." Not because Dan was a glad hander and rub you on. He would call you out. He had that passion about it. He's a boxer. He loves you.
Yeah.
You guys know he loves the fighting. By the way, Arthur Blank and I, we in a group went down to Cuba one time, and Dan Quinn was down there, and he was boxing with one of their middleweight champions. I'm like, he was out there. It was kind of funny watching it all. We smoked a ton of cigars and got way too drunk on rum.
Yeah.
But he was out there boxing, and I thought, this guy's legitimate tough guy, but he would never come across at that, right? Like, meaning he's not one of those guys that's pushy and everything. I'm getting really off on Dan because I really think the world of him, and I hope he really takes it over there. You guys probably don't want to see him come back.
Well, no, I was really hoping he'd get the Seattle job, not be in the NFC East.
Well, that's the thing, Thomas. I mean, everybody thought he was destined for Seattle. Washington wasn't even a thought, and then all of a sudden that pops up. What's the process there? And Seattle, do you just look to go a completely different route?
Well, I mean, Dan did have, when Dan first became our coach in Atlanta, he had definite elements of Pete, right, Carol?
Mm-hmm.
And I know John Snyder well, and I know John Snyder loves Dan. They're really close friends as well. So I'm sure they talked through this whole thing. Like, look, my fan base, and this was John Snyder's first chance to hire a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his point was Dan is too close to what Pete was, and they were looking for not in a negative way, just like their personalities are similar. So they wanted someone different. Of course, they got someone very different in how they're doing that. So that's what I thought he was going there for sure. I heard from a couple national media, like, don't count on it. I was blown away by it because I thought he was going to end up there.
Thomas Dimitroff joining us here on the Blitz in Vegas on Radio Row, former GM of the Atlanta Falcons. I'm curious for a defensive coordinator, and I know the Cowboys seemingly do things a little bit different than a lot of other teams, but are they interviewing looking for a coach and the style that he wants to run, or are they looking for a coach that can get the most out of Micah Parsons?
It's a great point. Love Micah Parsons, as we all do, as any team builders and former team builders. I used to text Dan randomly and say, "Are you kidding me? Why did we never draft a player like this?"
That was your job.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I had again, Mike Smith was a former D coordinator, and then Dan was, and we never had, I mean, God bless me, we never had the pass rush that I thought we'd have with both of those guys. And we ran a stat, by the way, you'll find it very interesting. Defensive coordinator by trade head coaches come in and they draft quarterbacks because they know what kicks their butt.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you look, and Dan was one who, Dan wasn't there. Mike Smith was one who got it right with Matt Ryan, like saying he and I did it together. But Dan's going to be in a spot there where he's going to be able to pull one off the board very quickly.
I'm guessing he hired Cliff. He's going to get Caleb, right? That's package deal.
You would think that's a pretty close. But I guess my point there is, I think in the end, what was the question? My God.
Are you getting a coordinator for his system or what he can do with what's on your roster, which is Micah Parsons?
Well, you're hoping as you interview that this guy comes in and has a stout system, the one that you believe in, and that your players, the talent that you already have, is going to fit in with that. And quite honestly, with Micah Parsons, and this is what I was trying to say with Dan, are you not, I mean, this was year one. I don't think you guys did it that much. I'd be putting that guy everywhere. I'd run him a la Lawrence Taylor. Every damn place I could go, I would put him in and just get people out on an island with him. That's my take. So I think the guy can fit in anywhere. He's been pretty outspoken recently, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Yeah, he's to
a fault.
Who has he been throwing darts at?
Well,
everybody
Dan
but
Quinn, his teammates, management, pretty much everybody.
What did he say about Dan? He didn't tell the fan base, or what?
Well, he said that there were packages in for him to play middle linebacker and be more of a factor in stopping the run. But if the coach doesn't put me there's nothing I can do.
I see.
So there's a lot of criticism and questions about why he wasn't in that position.
And in their losses, a couple times, San Francisco and in the Green Bay game, boy, we were just out-schemed, and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of like, is there anybody in the building? Whose job would it be to say, Micah, that might be how you feel, and there might be a lot of truth to that. You probably shouldn't say that on your podcast.
No. Didn't he also say something like, I've been in the league 3 years. I've seen just
he's seen it all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You haven't seen
They grow that fast.
I love that he's such a great player, but I don't know about that.
So what is that? Now it's you, me, and Jason sitting here. What's the perception of the Jones family and the way they run the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, the perception is there's no one more passionate, right? I mean, there's no one more passionate about it. Steven, I only interacted with Steven. I never interacted with Jerry at all in my 13 years as a GM. Any call I ever made was to Steven. I don't know if that surprises you all, but I didn't. And quite honestly, I didn't. I don't think I ever even got on the phone and struck a trade up with them. So I'm probably not the best person to talk about. So as far as my own interaction, as far as the league, I mean, you're going to always have people say, well, and I think Jerry makes light of it sometimes about having, being the GM. That how do you do that when you're the owner? But I think that's the perception more is, wow, I'm glad that my owner, besides coming down on the field with 7 minutes before the game. Speaking of Arthur Blank, and I think the world of Arthur never once played GM with me, which is really interesting, right? Contrast that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was able to do whatever I needed to do as the general manager. He would have an opinion here and there, but he would hold me to it. Hey, man, you look across the table and you say, Matt Ryan's worth $120 million, whatever the heck it was. You're swallowing heavy, right? But you're like, do it, and we'll see what happens on the other side. So
I'm curious. You didn't get a deal struck with Dallas. Is that because you didn't think their players were worthy?
No, it was more. Look, I will say this. One of the things that we do is usually as a general manager, you're striking deals with people that you have relationships with, right?
Right.
You're going to go there first. I'm going to go to 5, 6, or 7 of the guys that I deal with. Not saying you wouldn't go. I wouldn't go division, but and there are other people that if you're not getting the calls back or if they're not interacting with you regularly and this isn't Dallas, and I won't mention a couple of the other teams who are kind of disrespectful in how they deal with you or kind of take advantage of what they think is. And I had one guy used to ask me all the time for a certain round of something, and I had to call him out on it. I'm like, wait a minute. You're asking me for a second rounder every time on a guy who's a 7th rounder. And it ended up being Howie Roseman. I love Howie. Howie and I get along really well. You guys playing against him. I mean, he puts together a hell of a team. But he and I called each other out early on and got that straightened out. And then from then on, we were able to do deals. So my point is, you do deals with the people that you enjoy doing deals with. That sounds odd, but you have to be able to trust what the deal is.
I've got to ask you this, Thomas, and I mean this no disrespect whatsoever.
Got it.
How hard is it to be a GM? Because I think I'm the best general manager there is. I sit here on the radio every day and I say, why did he do that? How come he did that? How come he didn't have that guy?
Sign Dak or don't sign Dak.
I mean, come on. I mean,
so it's a good point. I think here's a funny thing. I say this to everyone. I never once, and most GMs feel this way, at least the guys who have background in personnel and evaluating. I think that I could go toe-to-toe with any GM in the league, and most GMs do. Some of the ones that were hired, like Howie was hired as a legal guy, right? Howie Roseman, Mickey, Loomis down at New Orleans was a business guy. So those guys may be a little different. I never once worried one bit about making decisions on evaluating. I wasn't worried about contract. The worst part of being a GM is this crazy incessant tug on your time. That's where it's really hard, because every time you turn the corner, your cap guy's throwing down this binder this big saying, hey, man, we got to go. I'm like, oh, my God. So that was what was complicated.
Yeah.
To do what you do by trade is what I loved about it. I was in it 13 years. That's humbly, that's a long time to be in that role.
That's like dog years, man.
It seemed that way. So it's a complicated job, but if you know what you're doing and you have a good ownership group, makes it less complicated.
I just heard the tug on your time, full-time job. You don't have enough hours in the day. Yet the Cowboys general manager is also the owner and has lots of other interests, is, bottom line there. Thomas Dimitroff, former general manager of the Falcons. I know you've got to run to your next one, but you you're staying pretty busy, even though you're not running a team right now. You talk about a tug on your time.
Yeah, I'm staying busy at 20 seconds. I mean, it's a data analytics company called Sumer Sports, Sumer.com. We have a great breakdown on our data. If you go online, it's all laden with analytics, but it's got great graphics. Check it out. It's all about roster optimization. It's not about building, and where head coaches are making decisions on it. We think it's revolutionary, and I've been the CEO there for 2 years, and I'm learning every day. I call them, and I say it humbly and respectfully to them, and they love me, and I love them. I call them. We have a lot of propeller heads in that group who are outrageously smart, and I have to bring them back to football world sometimes. But they're amazing. I love what we're doing.
Propeller heads.
Yeah,
I like that.
Doesn't that bring us back to the day? We're all that.
Yeah, of course.
Remember those cartoons.
Absolutely.
It's been a lot of fun, Thomas.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate
it. Thomas Dimitroff joining us here live on Radio Row in Las Vegas. Is he doing the car wash? Getting point A to point B. There's a lot of good information there, but I don't know if we got real answers on what they're doing. Is looking for a defensive coordinator. Yeah, you can take that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got candy here. See, that's how you get the big guests.
People like coming over here because of that reason.
Well, and it's interesting because we show up here at Radio Row, and this is 15 or 16 for me.
Yeah.
And we've never had gift baskets on our tables when we get here.
I know.
So we show up, and now granted, it's chips and things like that. It's nice. It's a nice touch by the Mandalay Bay. And every table has them.
Yep.
Well, when we went grocery shopping last night, we bought candy for the guests because everybody likes candy. So, we've got, your typical, Reese's. And Rob Thompson, who bought the candy, by the way, discovered horribly by accident that if it's in a white wrapper like white Reese's, that means it's white chocolate.
Yeah.
And white chocolate is awful. And Rob did not know that until today. He's 57 years old.
Well, I think there's a long list of things that Rob doesn't know yet. He's still growing up. So, but it's people appreciate it.
Well,
I don't know who got Reese's peanut butter cups.
Well,
but
Rob.
Yeah.
Rob's the one that bought them because he also knows that Ryan Eagle hates peanut butter, so he knows he's not going to eat it. So the other thing is he thought that the Reese's would be like the Hershey ones that are cookies and cream, which they are not. But in a brief study of the hours that we've been here today, of the people that have reached in for the candy, the white wrappered Reese's Pieces are like Almond Joy. Nobody's taking them. Not one person has taken one out of a white wrapper.
No. It's all the original Reese's. Yeah.
Or the candy bars, the Mr. Good bar. But nobody's taken the.
Now, I had a Mr. Good bar, and it was just regular chocolate. So I was happy about that.
Because it's in a yellow wrapper.
Well,
you know exactly what you're getting.
Well, I like Mr. Good bars. I haven't seen them in a while.
Absolutely.
They got the peanuts in there and all that stuff.
That's exactly what it is. But the other thing that I find fascinating about the gift baskets that they gave us is right directly in front of us, there's a table in that station. They haven't showed up yet.
Yeah.
And Schwampy just rummaged through their gift bag and started eating the popcorn that's meant for the other table.
Well,
now, granted, they have no idea that they were going to get popcorn.
No clue.
But no clue. So now I'm curious, depending on what day they show up, how many bags of their chips will Schwampy eat?
They're going to come in and say, oh, it was nice that they left us a nice basket to take home with us.
The only thing that's going to be left over there is the Cool Ranch Doritos, unless RJ Ochoa gets them.
Oh, man. You know what's funny, though, Jason, I will tell you, and I made this comment yesterday. L.A. is where I started with the radio station with you guys, and then Phoenix last year, and now Vegas this year. Besides being in the city and being out and about and seeing the different things that are, once you get in this convention center, they all look the same.
They're all the same.
They all look the same. You got tables everywhere. You got the national guys all, lining the outsides, and then all the other tables that are in here. So once you're in here, man, we could be in Beaumont, Texas, for all I know, and who would know?
If they've got a convention center space big enough in Beaumont, we could be in Beaumont. And it's interesting because Rob Thompson said this yesterday when we were setting up. It was all around, you've got the banners for every Super Bowl, and they don't change.
No.
You wonder, do they have more than one? Like if they lost the banner for Super Bowl 9, Is it just gone forever?
It's gone.
I mean, are there duplicates of it? Because it literally is the same every year.
Well, and it, that's a pretty tough job. Whoever has that job to put those up and take them down, so they don't get damaged.
Well, that's exactly what they have to do. Speak of the devil, Rob Thompson, RJ Ochoa, the morning huddle. They've had their nap.
Rob Thompson's got about 5 pairs of glasses on this table that he left here.
Only 5.
Man, they're everywhere.
Only 5.
Yeah, they're all over the place. I guess that's so he can just reach.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's got them. He's got them, and he's going to have plenty of White Reese's peanut butter cups to eat tomorrow morning.
He loves
because nobody is taking those things. Nobody is taking those.
And nobody
things.
will.
And nobody will. Nobody. There'll be that random one possibly, but yeah, nobody's taking those. The NFL is doubling down on integrity with the Super Bowl being here in Las Vegas.
I wish there was a rule against the media members gambling. Maybe that would save me.
No, it'd just be more rules that you break.
Man, I could use that. Hey, Joe, as long as you're covering the big game here, the Super Bowl, you can't gamble.
Yeah,
I'd say thank you very much.
You wouldn't come.
Thank you so much.
It wouldn't happen. That's what it is. It is our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage live from Las Vegas. And nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds 210-225-2121 or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It's the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rind Appreciation Day celebration. Enter to win $5,000 cash, tailgating prizes, plus Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds when you pass the pigskin. Enter at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And make sure to pick up the protein-packed, bold flavors of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds today at H-E-B.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
All right, guys, who's ready for the biggest game of the season this Sunday? Hey, it's James Pledger. Come pregame with me and San Antonio Sports Star and the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks out at the Twin Peaks Park North location starting at noon. Show up early. The first 100 fans get a free square, and every fan will walk away with a free fried pickles bounce back. This is going on at all 4 area Twin Peaks locations. So come join me this Sunday and register to win tickets to Machine Head while you're here. That's starting at noon at Twin Peaks Park North, 410 and Blanco Road.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Anjali.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just got an alert for a strange charge on my card.
No problem. We make sure you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card. Let's see. Did you purchase something from a t-shirt cannon store yesterday?
Absolutely not. No, I already have like 3.
$0 fraud liability guarantee. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard. Limitations apply.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high temperature performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through March 4th, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic and an oil filter for $36.99. Only at AutoZone.
Claim based on Sequence 3 H-Test versus API SP Chest Limit.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our motto is simple. George gets justice. But what does that mean for you? It means you get an award-winning team of attorneys who will fight for everything taken from you so that you can get back to what matters in life. When we say George gets justice, it's just not a motto. It's a commitment to you. Call us at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice.
This is Jim Rome. Have Take Don't Suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Interesting news coming out today. USA Today is reporting that Ohio State offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien likely to become the next head coach at Boston College. San Antonio Spurs take a 4-game losing streak with them as they head out on the rodeo road trip Wednesday. The trip is 9 games. It begins in Miami against the Heat. And Jerry Jones got to change the name of AT&T Stadium when the World Cup begins. FIFA doesn't allow corporate
brought
names.
to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. In Vegas, our AA Best Bail Bonds radio road coverage brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
Things are starting to heat up here. This is kind of unusual for a Monday, isn't it? I mean, the last 2 that I've been here with you guys, San Antonio Sports Star, Monday was always a little quiet. That's not the case here in Vegas.
Well, it's Vegas. 2, last year Phoenix Monday was a little bit more buzzy. It's interesting because LA was the first one after the COVID year. So things were really kind of different there. And in California, their COVID rules were very different than what, say, we were used to at the time in Texas. So, there were a lot of stations that didn't come. This looks like one of the, it feels like pre-COVID. Some of the people that I've seen, stations that haven't been here in a while that are coming back, like our buddies over at Sports Radio 610 down in Houston. They haven't been since COVID, so it's good to see a lot of those stations like that.
No, it's great to see it, and I love the buzz. And again, the vibe here in Vegas for this thing is just it's really unbelievable. Everybody just seems to be more revved up, not to mention the fact, and not that we don't always have a good matchup, but I think people are looking forward to this football game with San Francisco and Kansas City. That adds to the buzz a little bit.
Well, and I think because more and more states are also legalized gambling, and Texas is behind the boat, that obviously draws a lot more attention to it. Let's talk a little bit more about that in the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
So, funny story in the USA Today. The NFL doubling down on integrity with the Super Bowl at the epicenter of the gambling industry.
Imagine that, right? No, it's an interesting story. And look, the NFL's worried about it, and they have to be, because and all pro sports are, and that's why it took so long to get professional sports to Las Vegas, because everybody was afraid of the gambling aspect. But look, now that they're here, the NFL's got to stay on top of it, because we have had some players get popped for gambling, and they don't want that to happen. It's a bad look.
Well, and again, and I understand there has to be that integrity, and I'm not saying there is
cheating.
Well, I mean,
point shaving.
Yeah. I mean, but the human nature of wanting to gamble, and advertising works. As I look to my right here on Radio Row, there's the big DraftKings setup.
Yeah.
Down yonder is the FanDuel setup. I saw another big one earlier. I don't know where it went or which one it was, but they're all very well represented. There will be gambling commercials in the Super Bowl for the first time ever, including the one right before kickoff, right? So when you think about that and the nature of it, it's like, to a degree, like those that work for colleges, they can't do a bracket, which I think is one of the dumbest things when March Madness rolls around, that basketball coaches and players, they're not allowed to do a bracket. I know they can't. I know there can't be the idea of point shaving. Did you drop that pass on purpose because you had points? But it's human nature, and the gambling is there. I wish they could figure out a fine line, like, okay, you can't bet on the games, like, are they going to win, but can you bet on, like if you're doing underdog fantasy, this guy throwing for more than 248 yards or something.
Well, if you're a defensive back, maybe you pick the under on that every time, right? Because you think you can do something.
It's just like Pete Rose. He never bet against his team.
Well, no, but
supposedly.
Look, people already think that the NFL is scripted, right? I mean, people say that all the time. It's a script. It's this. They want this team. They want that team in here. And then you put gambling on top of that, and you find out, say, and I'm just going to throw a name out there, Tom Landry. He bet on
bite your tongue.
Well,
come on with that.
Exactly. That's why I wanted a ridiculous example of that. But if you find that out, then you say, man, well, maybe this really is scripted, and they're all trying to, get a little money in their pockets.
If it was scripted, the Cowboys would be in every year as the most popular franchise out there. They would be.
Maybe not.
Cowboys can't even figure out how to hire a defensive coordinator, which is apparently a little bit more complicated than we think. A Green Bay Packer fan thought, well, I could do the job. He applied for the job.
Yeah. Said he's a great fantasy football player and has won his fantasy football league for a while. What's great about that, though, is that the Packers played along with it. The president or the GM of the Packers sent this guy back a letter and said, after a lot of consideration, and we appreciate how good you are in fantasy football, but we've decided to go in a different direction. I mean, that's cool to me that you play along with somebody like that, because, reading that article today, apparently a lot of fans do that. I mean, it's like, we all think we're better GMs than the typical GM that's running your football team.
Well, we all are smarter than the guy that has it on his business card.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that is a true statement. All of us are smarter than that guy. I mean, to think you've got a job that only 32 other people have, and you know all the facts, right?
Yep.
Or technically 31 other people, right? Thank you, RJ Ochoa. RJ's got to correct everything, right?
Yeah,
but
does.
Everybody can do the job better than you.
Of course.
Right. Everybody is a better GM.
Yeah.
I mean, the rules be damned, because I don't know, all of this and the that, but kind of like what we were talking about with Thomas Dimitroff. When deals get done, you tend to do deals with your friends. And, I don't see the Cowboys pulling off a lot of trades. I don't think the Joneses have friends.
Well, maybe not. And even as we learned last week with the story about Stephen Jones just kind of, poo-pooing a potential trade. And maybe that's why, because they don't take it seriously or they don't listen to you or whatever the case may be. Who knows? But the Cowboys are the Cowboys. And here we are at Super Bowl between Kansas City and San Francisco. And guess what? The Dallas Cowboys are the topic of conversation.
Well, they are, and they are also used to not winning the big game.
They are.
Obviously.
That's very true.
And that happened to them.
Even RJ has to agree with that.
And they had that happen to them yesterday, the big FIFA announcement. It was happening while we were on the plane. I don't know. Joe was watching the Pro Bowl or something. But the FIFA announcement, it's been reported for more than a week that Dallas was going to get the final. They did not. It's going to New York, New Jersey. Dallas is getting 9 games, which is more than everybody else. But now people in Arlington are very upset because FIFA has a rule that they don't allow corporate sponsors to represent venues, which might be one of the dumbest rules out there, but you see how big of a stick they swing because they get their way with that. So during the World Cup, AT&T Stadium won't be AT&T Stadium. SoFi won't be SoFi. MetLife won't be MetLife. In New York, where the final will happen, they're going to call it New York, New Jersey Stadium. In Los Angeles, it's going to be SoFi will be Los Angeles Stadium. Well, up there in Arlington, the home of AT&T Stadium, it's going to be Dallas Stadium. And the 14 people that call Arlington home are mad as hell that they're the Little Sisters once again. They get no respect.
What do you mean 14 people? I have great memories of Arlington. That's where Six Flags is. And
everybody visits there.
Great memories.
They actually have a population of 400,000.
Now, do you honestly, when you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, do you have any clue that you might be in Arlington or one of the other 1,200 suburbs that they have?
Well, of course.
I don't.
Well, it doesn't surprise
Dallas. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm in Dallas this weekend. I could be in Fort Worth. It didn't matter. I'm in Dallas.
Well, if you said you were in Fort Worth, then people would say, okay, you're in Dallas.
You're in Dallas.
Yeah, but do I know, like if I'm at a game, do I know I'm in Arlington? I do.
Well,
do I give a damn that I'm in Arlington versus Dallas or Frisco? I do not.
No,
but
because nobody cares.
Well, it's almost like in San Antonio. The only time I care that I say I'm in Castle Hills is if I'm meeting one of their finest, or over in
get popped with one of those cameras. They still have
if you're in Leon Valley, you realize you're not in San Antonio anymore because of the officer that you're signing an autograph for.
Well, it's weird because I live in Chavano Park.
See,
they've got their own mayor, they've got their own city council, the whole thing.
We, because you're a Chavano Park type.
But
you got to put your pinky up when you say that.
But when I say that, or you put that on the address, I mean, it gets lost. Oh, shit, where's that? I mean, it's San Antonio, so you just put San Antonio, and I don't consider that I'm like in a different city.
Oh, dude, you got a whole sticker on your car and everything that proves you're not a San Antonio type.
Well, I heard that might help you if you. Because that's kind of a speed trap in there.
Kinda.
Well, so I was always told you put that little sticker on your car and it's like a get out of jail free card.
Well, has it worked for you?
Well, I haven't gotten stopped yet.
So apparently it has.
Well, maybe it has, and they haven't done it. But hey, if any of Chavano Park's finest are listening, don't hold that against me, will you? Because I just told everybody, for a small fee, Minix, I could probably get you one.
I avoid going through Chavano Park when I can. For that reason. For example, a lot of times you'll see like Chavano Fire Department or cops at Tri-County Meat Market there on Huebner. And if you leave and you take a right out of there by the Shell station, you go down, you got to drive through Chavano Park, or you go left down Huebner, all the way to Bitters and Blanco, right? I'll do that to avoid Chavano Park.
Why don't you just follow the law, man?
Well, because I have actually gotten pulled over in Chavano Park, although I was given a warning for going 37 and a 35.
Oh, okay.
And it's 37 and a 35. Seriously? Seriously.
Sure.
Seriously.
Well, they take their speeding seriously.
I mean, that's why they're called a speed trap.
Just follow the law. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
You know what Maggie will do? So there's this one road that goes, there's no speed, but she puts her cruise control on 35.
Well, see,
that's smart. That's a vet move.
But it also tells me the fear that the Chavano Park Police Department through the years have put into drivers in the area that if you go 37, they will pull your ass over.
And that's just how they like it.
That is.
Absolutely. Well done, Chavano Park.
And as much ticket revenue as they get, why are those roads not fixed yet?
They're going to be beautiful once they are. In fact, I got a text from Maggie. They sent out the newsletter given times when they're going to. So by
Chavano Park sends out a newsletter.
By June of this year, boom, fixed.
Sure.
Done.
June of what year?
This year.
Well, yeah, but they could write this year and say, well, that was for next year.
Well, it's 2024.
All right.
Now,
there's a date on the newsletter?
Now, the I-10-1604 thing, I may not be alive when that gets finished.
That is possible. Who will be the next defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys? We'll talk about it next on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Can't wait to see who that is, Jason. And I can see. I'll be able to see very clearly who the Dallas Cowboys hire as their next defensive coordinator, thanks to my good friends at Parkhurst New Vision. Had lens replacement surgery at Parkhurst over the summer. And I tell you what, the results have been fantastic. You know, I'm sitting here in Radio Row, and Rob Thompson has 5 pairs of readers sitting here, and I don't need any of them. In fact, one of those used to be mine. So it's fantastic to not have to drag those things around, and the change in life has just been sensational. In fact, my results were so good, my wife Maggie had her eyes done at Parkhurst New Vision, and she is loving the results as well. Look, they can do the same thing for you, and they will. They're happy to. Parkhurst New Vision. You want to call them at 210-585-2020. You can also check them out online at sanantoniolasik.com. When you call them at 210-585-2020 to set up your consultation, first thing you do is you tell them that Joe Reinigle from the Blitz sent you. Second thing you do is you pull out your list of questions, concerns. They will answer all of them. Look, let them do for you what they have done for my family. Parkhurst New Vision. Give them a call today, 210-585-2020.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo! Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here!
Not up in here!
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergen X, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
What's wrong, Cupid?
Chris, I've lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people fall in love thanks to Connecticut, not poor old Cupid.
You don't say.
Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Connecticut water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick.
Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow.
I'll rub it in, Chris. I know a Connecticut runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Connecticut has it all.
This is Chris Canepa with Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. There's a reason people love their Connecticut. Right now, I'll let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Just call 656-PURE.
You know, you're right, Chris. I love my Connecticut, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me.
You serious, Chris?
But you're going to have to wear pants.
ConnecticutSA.com.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C, or a multivitamin to get key nutrients. We've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
For your big game party, you better pop in to Total Wine and More for a guaranteed win. We've got thousands of bottles down every aisle, and prices so low they're gonna make you smile. Ask our helpful guides for a recommendation to add some spirits and wine to your beverage station. Discover something new and let the fun begin. Come on down to Total Wine and More for a guaranteed win.
Drink responsibly, B21.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. In the break, kind of BSing with our buddy Clint Sterner from Sports Radio 610 in Houston, who's probably glad, Joe, that he's gone a week, because this dude put on Twitter yesterday that for the first time that he's known his wife, he heard her fart.
Oh, wow.
He said he'd never heard her fart before. and granted, he puts that on social media knowing he's going to be gone for a week, right? And then his wife, who's wonderful, his wife took doorbell camera video of him where he walks out of his front door and lets one rip. and she posted that video on social media.
Well, dude, I'm wondering, has he been married a day? I mean... What?
I mean, they've been together a while, but I think they've been married now 3 or 4 years.
Okay. All right.
And I guess
we've probably have all
she's
heard
all
that.
Well, I mean, true, but and even if you did, right, you still don't tweet about it, right? That's about, like, he's not newlywed, but he also knows he's going a week without anyway, so you might as well get in the doghouse while you're not going to be here.
It may last longer than a week. He may go home, honey, I'm so happy to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He could be in trouble for a long time. That's good to see that guy. I haven't seen him in a while. I know I've talked to him on the radio, as obviously you guys have, but I mean, good to see him.
Sterner is good people.
That's the beauty of this. You see people that
it's a convention
you see once a year.
Yeah.
A lot of them, right? So
yeah.
It's good.
It's a good convention of radio dudes that get it.
Well, and girls. There's girls.
Yeah. Well, dudes. To me, dudes is, radio people.
That's very.
I think dudes is kind of universal.
Well, I
didn't say guys. I said dudes, which,
So if you walked up to that young lady and said, call her a dude.
What's up, dude? Yeah.
Yeah, she'd be all right with that?
Would do that. I mean,
that's going to have to be an experiment at some point.
Probably not. Probably
sure,
not.
No, I think it is. I mean, it's content.
Well, probably not.
You're afraid now.
Well, I'm rethinking my.
Yeah. Hey, dude, how are you?
What's up, dude?
Oh, that's a great idea, Jim.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness.
So I don't know what you were doing at 9 o'clock this morning in San Antonio, but I know Jerry Jones was interviewing people for defensive coordinator yesterday when they lost out on the FIFA final. And again, I don't know. Do you celebrate the fact that they got 9 games or they missed out on the big one? So is it a letdown?
I think you celebrate the fact that you get 9 games. Yeah, let somebody else deal with the headache of the finals.
The headache of the finals.
Sure.
Boy, that's negative.
Well, I don't think it's negative. I mean, I bet you ask anybody that's organizing that thing, it's a pain in the behind.
It's a pain in the behind that comes with a mountain of money, which is why you want that. And for Jerry, because he owns the concessions at the building, I mean, he does get 9 games, so he's going to print even more money.
Just fine. Yeah.
He's going to do just fine, but you want to have the marquee event. You know, it's like in college football. Do you want to host the semifinals or do you want to host the national championship game?
Well, I mean, if
you want the national championship game, there really is only one right answer.
I guess.
Nobody bids for the bronze medal. They all want the final, and you end up with the bronze medal.
So the trade-off there, if Jerry only got the final and not the 9 games, he wouldn't make near the money he's going to make having the 9 games. So I'd be happy with that. To me, that's not a bronze medal. You're the winner.
But you didn't win the big game.
Doesn't matter.
That was the theory you were trying to sell us on with, you know, if they just make the NFC championship game, it would be a success.
It would be. Since they haven't done it in 30 years, I think that might be a big step in the right direction.
I'm sure that's how they feel in Detroit. The sting of the loss still hurts.
The fact that the Detroit Lions got there before the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, when you put it that way, it kind of seems like, man.
Just keep in mind.
That's a real kick in the package.
A reason to root for Kansas City this week, if you're undecided. While San Francisco has been to a couple of Super Bowls, their newest Lombardi trophy is still older than the Dallas Cowboys' newest Super Bowl trophy. It's been a long time since the 49ers have hoisted a Lombardi trophy.
That's why it's going to irritate the hell out of Cowboy fans if the 49ers win this thing, because they'll have more rings than the Cowboys. I mean, this is the championship ring game.
Yeah.
Right? So San Francisco's going to have more rings if they win. Boy, that's really going to be a burr in your behind, isn't it?
Well, that's why they're not going to.
They're not going to win.
That's why you're going for the Chiefs. That's why.
In
Last
Mahomes,
night when we were grocery shopping, got a case of water. It's ironically named Arrowhead. RJ Ochoa was like, "Are we sure?" We're like, "Absolutely." All the positive vibes for Kansas City this week. We'll talk more about the game, the matchup, the NFL with Solomon Wilcots. He joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Do you have any plans for the big game this Sunday? If you don't have any plans right now, I got a great option for you. Go down to the Big Blind. That's right, the Big Blind, the premier poker room in San Antonio with the upscale environment catering to players of all abilities. They are having a great event on Sunday to watch the game. If you go in there, as soon as you walk in the door, you pick the winner. You pick Kansas City, you pick San Francisco, whoever you like, and then you go play. If your team wins, your table time is absolutely free. That's a pretty good bet right there. Not to mention the fact they're going to have a complimentary taco buffet. Walk in, call your shot, pick your team, and you could get all your poker playing enjoyment for free. The Big Blind, it is there at 281 in Redland Road. It's from the owners of the Root Pub and the Angry Elephant. You know it's good. The food is fantastic. Beverages, TVs everywhere. You're not going to miss one play of the big game on Sunday. Get down there and play for free. The Big Blind, 281 and Redland Road.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, day 2 of Media Row. We'll look at what went down on the big media night. What was crazy? Who'd we see? Lots to report on.
The Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator situation continues to be fascinating. We have some thoughts, and we want the brigade bright and early with us at 6 a.m. to start. Bring the coffee and maybe a donut or two. We're ready to roll. We huddle up at 6.
Folks, there's nothing romantic about home repairs, but when your plumbing has lost that love and feeling and your AC is about to achy break your heart, call Quarterman Plumbing, Heat, and AC at 210-651-5899. We'll fix the issue fast at a great price with a servant spirit.
Joel, this is a special Valentine gift from me to you.
Yeah, but why are your arms red?
I got a deal on this plant for your office.
That's poison ivy, Nigel.
It's what?
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number N16004. DACLA 000743458.
All right, guys, who's ready for the biggest game of the season this Sunday? Hey, it's James Pledger. Come pregame with me and San Antonio Sports Star and the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks out at the Twin Peaks Park North location starting at noon. Show up early. The first 100 fans get a free square, and every fan will walk away with a free fried pickles bounce back. This is going on at all 4 area Twin Peaks locations. So come join me this Sunday and register to win tickets to Machine Head while you're here. That's starting at noon at Twin Peaks Park North, 410 and Blanco Road.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Do you ever feel hot spots or cold drafts around your home while watching your favorite team play? Your windows may be to blame. Call Maverick Windows today at 800-972-3631 and sign up for a free quote and get back in the end zone. That's 800-972-3631.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
It is time to play Pass the Pigskin for a chance to win $5,000 cash and tailgate prize packs. Celebrate with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds by entering the Pork Rind Appreciation Day giveaway at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And don't forget to pick up your favorite bold flavored protein packed Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds today at HEB.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Max in Vegas for our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage, brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Joined now by Solomon Wilcots, played in the NFL for a long time. Used to see him doing all the games on CBS, and you're doing Sirius XM, now covering the league, doing everything. And in a break, we were just talking about C.J. Stroud. Think about a rookie quarterback that is come on and played at the level that he is playing at. Who would you compare him to?
Wow. I don't think there's any comparison. I'm serious. I mean, I think what we're seeing from him, think about the movement in the pocket, the high football IQ. throwing the ball with great accuracy. He's doing things that we've never seen a young quarterback do. 191 consecutive pass attempts without throwing an interception. By the time it's all said and done, only 5 interceptions on the season, and just lacing it. I remember, what was it, the 75 yards touchdown strike early in the game against Cleveland. This is the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's a rookie quarterback. Nobody's supposed to be playing like this as a rookie in the postseason. And he's just lacing it down the field. I think I told Todd Haley, who works with us on Sirius XM NFL Radio, I said that touchdown pass to Nico Collins was like a javelin.
Yeah.
I mean, the trajectory it was on, the accuracy that it was on, the defense didn't stand a chance, and he just carved them up that day. We've never seen a rookie quarterback get off to this kind of start, and particularly to go from worst to first within a division and then get to the playoffs and not teeter out. He goes and wins it when he gets to the postseason. I just thought it was one of the best rookie seasons by a quarterback that we've ever seen.
You know, Solomon, when you look at that entire team and what D'Amico Ryans has done with that football team and the culture that he has instilled in that thing, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a turnaround like the Texans. I mean, obviously C.J. Stroud's a big part of that, but man, D'Amico Ryans just coming in there and just pushing that thing forward.
It starts with an attitude, right?
Yeah.
And what that attitude is, an attitude of belief. You got to, I mean, to take that organization that at the end of the day, coming in, I don't know that anyone gave them a chance of winning 8 games, 7 games, right? If you'd have won 7, you would have thought, it wasn't bad.
Good season.
You would have taken it. But no, they go beyond that. I remember after the Bengals game, and I watched carefully, the team gathered around him, and he said to the players, "You beat a very good team today." He said, and then that's because, and he pointed at them, and they all said in unison, "Because we're a good team." Now I said, I said, that's a dangerous team right there. Because he's already instilled, and he just gave them the cue for them to say what he had taught them to say.
Yeah.
We're not shocked that we beat a good team because we're a good team. And I'm thinking that's a dangerous club right there. And sure enough, it proved out in November, December. They went on to beat some other good football teams. And now I just think they have the elixir. They have all the ingredients to really continue to be a great team because they're only going to continue to get better.
Solomon Wilcots joining us here on the Blitz live on Radio Row in Las Vegas. And Solly, every year when we talk to you here on Radio Row, most of it's about the Dallas Cowboys. We're San Antonio. We're the Cowboys affiliate. You've got the Texans that were not even an afterthought for the last several years. This year, they've played their way into the conversation. And you talk about all that they have. The future looks so bright. The Cowboys, they're the same. 12 regular season wins and then an embarrassing loss in the playoffs. Why is that?
It's not an easy answer, but here, give a quick synopsis.
Okay.
Starts at the top, right? And we love Jerry Jones. I mean, what he has done for this league, he's helped this league to grow economically in the same way that the Dallas Cowboys in value has grown. Forbes has them listed as the highest value team in our league. And rightfully so, because Jerry's done a wonderful job of marketing and selling. And that's what he does every year when he talks about his team. He markets, he sells. And most people, if you talk to anyone in marketing, what do? Overpromise, underdeliver. It's almost unanimous. It's almost, overpromise, and he leaves it up to Mike McCarthy to deliver on those promises. He leaves it up to Dak to deliver on those promises. And I don't care. He sells at such a high level. He's the best at it, right?
Yeah.
That no one can live up to the promises he makes every year in the offseason. It's just been repeated every single year. So I think it starts with that. And then he sets the fan base up for this heartache because they're buying into these promises. As soon as the team just falls just a little bit short of those goals, because that's what you get every year at 12 wins, winning the division. A defense that's had 93 takeaways over the last 3 years, more than any other defense in the NFL. But still, because of the promise, it wasn't good enough. So the promise is greater than what they're able to deliver upon. It leaves the fan base feeling that they just can't even appreciate what happens because they missed the mark, right? And so I just think they have to just go back to work building a better team in critical areas, run defense, right? You got to be better there. I think they've got to run the ball a little bit. Dak Prescott got better and delivered. He helped make CeeDee Lamb better. I think the coach made the quarterback a better player at his position. And by all the metrics, they improved in some of those areas, but no one wanted to talk about the weaknesses of the Cowboys. What are they? If they play with a lead and playing at home, oh, my God, they're a good football team.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, if they got the lead.
Now, if they get behind, and I said this going into the playoff game against the Green Bay Packers, I wonder what the Cowboys are going to do if they fall behind early and have to play from behind and come back. Because that means now you got to stop the run, right? Which they could not do against the Green Bay Packers. And if they're not getting turnovers, what are you going to do? Which they didn't do against the Green Bay Packers. So a lot of teams, many people who study this league, you kind of know who and what the Dallas Cowboys are. They're good, but not great. They are good, but they're just not great. Now they need to go on to work on those components that help them get to that next level.
You're going to make him cry, by the way. He may need some Kleenex before too long.
They don't hear a lot of truth around there.
I know.
We all speak the truth.
Exactly.
Exactly right. Cowboy haters just love piling it on. Even though you hear it, even though I say it. Yeah.
It's just so easy to do. You know?
Those that like low-hanging fruit like Joe.
Of course. You're the perfect guy to ask, though. And I saw this just watching the game, and scared is not the right word. Nervous, maybe confused. I saw a look in Dak Prescott's eyes that I hadn't really seen all year, and he almost looked like he was pressing or something. When you see that as a defensive guy, can you see that in a quarterback's face?
I didn't see a lack of confidence there. What I did see was not having answers to a problem. And, Dr. Hansen, who's with me today, he's never had to experience this because doesn't he look like a guy who's got all the answers to the test?
He does.
Right? He's but a lot of us mere mortals, every now and then we would take an exam and you're like, uh-oh, right?
I did that a lot.
That's the look that Dak Prescott had on his face, like, uh-oh, because early in the game, they were trying to get CeeDee Lamb going. And you could tell there were some issues what they needed to make some adjustments, just put it that way. And they went to CeeDee Lamb. Hey, we got to do this. You could see the coach over there trying to give some instruction. And then after that, what did they try to do? They tried to force the ball into CeeDee. And that was the pick six for a touchdown. And so they got further and further behind on the scoreboard, while at the same time, this look of bewilderment on the face of the quarterback. It was on other players' face too. Like, look, they're taking away the things that we do best. And what happens in the playoffs, because we don't play the best out of 4 or 5 game series, it's a one-time performance. You either get it done today or you're going home. Season's over. And I think they felt it slipping away. And you could see a sense of panic, a sense of desperation as they fell further and further behind on the scoreboard. And it was an insurmountable lead, by the way.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, I think that you saw some of the real time. You saw him processing some of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was. I don't think it was because he felt like, man, I'm overwhelmed. I can't play. He kept slinging it. He ended up with over 400 yards passing on the day. But it was garbage time.
It was easy when there was no pressure.
Give it some context, right?
No hope. A lot of people do wonder, though, including me. I use the term playoff Prescott, because he is 2-5 in the postseason. Seems like in the biggest moments, he doesn't show up. When the lights are bright, he's not there. He's not like you talked about C.J. Stroud. Why is a rookie able to do that? Dak's been in the league 8 years. Why are there times in big games like that the moment seems too big?
I would say the moment is too big for the entire team. See, and I think the Cowboys, they go back to somebody's got to be the blame for this underperformance after all this promise.
They fired a janitor, I think.
We got to blame somebody. Dak Prescott plays the position that bears a lot of the burden of responsibility, win or lose, but sometimes disproportionate to what is really taking place there. Think about the Green Bay Packers, where they score on each of their 4 or 5 possessions. So where was this great Dan Quinn defense?
It was gone.
Yeah, but you don't hear that.
No,
we hear that Dak Prescott failed. We don't hear about the other areas of the team where they break down. It clearly didn't even show up. At least Dak Prescott kept swinging. It might have been garbage time stats, but he was still doing his job. He was still out fighting and competing to perform. defense just laid down, man, like a flat carpet. It was over.
It was
over. Am I right?
It was ugly.
Where were all those turnovers?
It was
Where were
gone.
all those pick sixes?
Yeah.
We got some guys who went into the witness protection program who's supposed to be sacking quarterbacks. Once y'all compared him to Lawrence Taylor, he stopped playing.
Well, who are you talking about?
I don't know.
It wasn't his fault. Just ask him.
Yeah.
Of course. See? But you see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And yet they're the ones pointing fingers at their own teammates. They're allowing family members.
Oh,
my gosh.
To point.
Is that crazy? That's crazy.
That has no place in our game. It has no place in professional sports. It has no place in our society. Right?
Right.
How dare a family member of mine speak publicly about what's taking place in our workplace?
Yeah.
About my colleagues.
Yeah.
We would never even allow it. If my mom commented on what my boss is doing at work, I'd be like, Mom, really? I mean,
locker room sacred
she
place.
would do that anyway.
Yeah.
My mom would do that anyway, but she knows.
But if she did, what would you do?
I would talk to my mom. First of all, she taught me. Her standards are well above mine. I only wish to aspire to have.
That's a great answer.
Have the same kind of mode of operation that she does. However, she taught me that if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. She always taught me to be respectful when you do have something to say about someone. And she taught me also to always be willing to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? And I think within the workplace, if your teammates, if your coaching staff, you don't point. Soon as Dan Quinn gets another job, he's got his top player taking jabs at Dan Quinn, his former defensive coordinator, who helped make him an All-Pro.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's
and you wonder why at critical moments it breaks down. What do they say about adversity? It reveals our true character. And these are guys that don't trust each other. These are guys that, well, how are you going to have your brother talking about that your quarterback should take less so you could get paid?
It's insane. Speaking the truth, Solomon Wilcots here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Speaking the truth as well about Macy. Now, we've got Dr. Chad Hansen with us, who is the Raiders team doctor and the Golden Knights team doctor as well. Out of curiosity, I'm a big hockey guy. And injury reports in the NFL, we know everything. Hockey, lower body, upper body, he might be alive, he might not. He might have lost a leg, he might not. What are the worst? Who has worse injuries, hockey or football?
Well, hockey players are quite tough. And
so football players
what does that mean about football players?
In terms of in-game desire to try to get back on the ice, these hockey players are scratching and clawing. They're getting sewn up without lidocaine. They're getting
bad.
X-rays and they're heading back to the ice before they even know if the leg's broken or not. And so there is that kind of stay with your brother's mentality on the ice. Football is a very, very injury-prone sport, and the speed at which it's played, if you lose 1%, you can't compete. And so it can be very challenging, even with what many would consider a minor injury, to stay on the field. It's just that competitive.
I've got to ask you a question because it's been a big topic here for some time now. Grass, artificial surface. Is there a difference in the amount of injuries between the two?
There's a difference in the amount of complaining between the two.
Yes, there is that.
I love it.
Tell me about Macy, the knee cartilage repair using your own cells that obviously you are a believer in.
This is one of the answers we do have to a problem. In knee cartilage for adults, when you have damage to your own cartilage, there's a way to do a tissue repair that harnesses your own cells to cover that defect.
Isn't that incredible?
That is incredible.
This is new innovative science, new treatment. Go to Macy.com. You want to find a doctor in your area. You want to find out more information. But again, it uses your own cells to grow your own cartilage to keep you from deteriorating to that area, that space where you're bone on bone, and eventually might end up needing total knee replacement surgery.
Macy.com is MACI.com. MACI.com. And Doc, so as the doctor for a hockey team, I imagine you know a pretty good dentist here in Las Vegas, right?
That's maybe the most critical job day to day.
See, Tim here last night broke a tooth. He's trying to find a dentist. Anybody you can recommend, leave a number for him because you're not a dentist, too, right? You don't do it all?
Not quite.
But if you know a good dentist, we know somebody that needs one.
Perfect. I'll take care of him.
MACI.com, Macy.com. Dr. Chad Hansen, Solomon Wilcots, man, always great catching up with you, man.
Always great.
Always
Always you guys, too. We thank you for allowing us to come on with you.
Appreciate it. Solly, appreciate it. I'm sure we'll see you next year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And listen to him on Sirius XM's NFL radio, all the great stuff and the analysis that he does. And he's been doing for years and years and years and years and years. And
he just did some great analysis right here. Are you kidding me?
Well, and again, I mean, you think about just the contrast of, talking to a guy that covers the league, but think about what, I mean, the Texans, the future seems so bright.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, it starts at the top. Those were his words. It starts at the top. And you look at that and the stuff in the locker room, the stuff that family members are saying, and the fact that they just haven't taken that next step is so frustrating. And it's one thing for us to talk about it as Cowboy fans, and we're in it every day. And that's what's fun about being on Radio Row is you get a national perspective. I mean, he played for the Bengals.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure where he lives. I don't know, who he follows all the time, but he follows everything. And the opinion on the Cowboys is similar, pretty universal in that regard.
Well, I tell you what, and look, Jerry's an easy target for everybody, and it starts at the top. Do you remember? And think back when Mac Brown was the head coach at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You would come into Texas and you were entitled. You were royalty.
Yep.
Because that's how Mac made the culture. And maybe that's the same way that's happening with the Dallas Cowboys. You come in there, you've got a star on your helmet. We're the most, we're the richest franchise in all of sports, and you're just better than everybody else. And maybe that is what starts at the top, but I think that's the problem, and you see it with Micah Parsons. Now, look, Micah Parsons is of the generation now that, you speak your mind, you're on social media, you do, and you can say whatever you want. But maybe he's right about that culture starting from the top, just from a entitled mentality, and that's what it seems like the Cowboys are these days.
It's interesting and worthy of discussion. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776, or on Twitter at Joe Reinagle 210. Tweet at me at Jason Minix. If you're on YouTube, you can always comment there as well. I look at today's athlete, and not just today's athlete, today's kids. They watch stuff on their phone. They go and with social media, you can put a video up and your opinion is out there. The Cowboys allow all of it.
Yeah.
The Spurs do not. And a lot of times we get mad at the Spurs for the limited media access that they allow. And you don't see their players with podcasts. Danny Green felt like 3 minutes after he was traded, dropped a podcast because he was allowed to by Toronto. I know it was a little longer than 3 minutes, but he said on our show he had wanted to do a podcast for a long time, wasn't allowed to do it. You don't have these problems with the Spurs. It feels to me, just watching Devin Vassell play, there might be a little jealousy with the guy there.
I don't think there's any question.
I mean, there might be. I don't know. Don Harris had a tweet the other day. Devin Vassell's got to learn he's Robin, not Batman. Could you imagine if Devin Vassell had a podcast, or Wemby, or I don't know, Zach Collins, somebody else that could chime in, or if one of their family members, could you imagine if Wemby's sister was going on social media saying, why don't they pass the ball to my brother? He's 7'4". We would all lose our minds. Spurs don't allow it. So it's interesting. Like on one hand, we get mad at the Spurs for how they keep the media and the public at such a distance, where the Cowboys, let everybody in. And the issues that comes up with that. I don't know what the right way is, but there does need to be some sort of happy medium.
Well, perhaps, or a guy just needs to, know how to act. I mean, and there's part of that. And I think Micah Parsons, and we'll talk about him specifically, had so many accolades about him. And Solomon Wilcots just talked about that. Everybody's comparing this guy to Lawrence Taylor, which was the most ridiculous thing ever. I mean, it was ridiculous to compare Micah Parsons to one of the greatest football players to ever play the game. So on its face, it was ridiculous. But look, when you get showered with praise, it's human nature to think that, your poop doesn't stink. And then that's just the way it is. And I think that's what's happened to Micah Parsons. And that's why he feels like he can say the things that he says.
The interesting thing is kind of like what you just said about being compared to Lawrence Taylor. It is so interesting because that's what we do as fans, is human nature. Who does he remind you of? I just asked that Solomon Wilcots about C.J. Stroud. Who does he remind you of? And you get comparisons to, because he does remind you of Lawrence Taylor. Is he as good as LT? No. Could he be better when it's all said and done? We'll see. Patrick Mahomes, is he going to be considered the GOAT when he's all said and done? Will he end up with more rings than, say, Tom Brady? But we're in a comparing business, a comparing society. It's what we do. So I don't blame Micah for getting compared to, but how he handles those comparisons and deals with it, because, dude, you're not Lawrence Taylor yet.
Well, you're not even close, but that's sometimes I think we're all a little bit irresponsible, and you're right. That's what we do. But, Solomon didn't give you a guy that compared to C.J. Stroud because he knows better. Because if he were to go out and say, I don't know, he reminds me of, pick somebody, Joe Montana. You're going to say, wait a second. Now, we're a little bit quick on that comparison. So I just think that it is part of the culture, and I think the fans do it too. And Cowboy fans might be worse than anybody. And I don't mean this in a derogatory manner, but the Cowboys love the players that put on that laundry. They just do. And if you get a guy that has some success, all of a sudden he's the next. He's the biggest. And I think it got to Micah Parsons' head a little bit, and somebody's going to have to say, hey, you got to slow down a little bit, and let's just go out and play football.
It is the Blitz in Las Vegas. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Coming up in about an hour, we'll visit with former Smithson Valley Ranger Andrew Sendejo. He joins us at 5 o'clock. We'll talk about what the Cowboys are going to do at defensive coordinator next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, I know what I need to do if I have a roof problem. I'm going to call Stevens Roofing, because really there is only one name in roofing that stands high above the rest. That is Stevens Roofing. Look, a quality roof overhead by Stevens Roofing. It means comfort. It means confidence. It means peace of mind, protection for all the things that you love. And if you're in the market for repairs, a replacement roof, an upgrade, you want to work with the experienced team that brings local roots, value, and a vast knowledge of their craft to every job. That is Stevens Roofing. Call them today, 210-785-0994. You can also get them online at stevensroofing.net. If you think you have an issue with your roof, if you're just not sure and you want to get it checked out, no better company to call than Stevens Roofing. Again, that phone number, 210-785-0994.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A four-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of four can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
It's Macy's one-day sale tomorrow with great deals of the day just in time for Valentine's. Like 40 to 60% off your date night outfit from INC, Karl Lagerfeld Paris, Guess, and more. And 40% off handbags to complete your look. Plus, get 25 to 40% off beauty and fragrances they'll love from Clinique, Carolina Herrera, and more. And get it faster when you pick up in-store or curbside at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
This is business analyst Jill Schlesinger. In today's world, it seems the best treatment is reserved only for a few. Well, Discover wants to change that by making everyone feel special. That's why with your Discover card, you have access to 24/7 live customer service as well as $0 fraud liability, which means you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases. Finally, no matter who you are or where you are in your life, you'll feel special with Discover. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
My car.
but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Hey, Jess, want to come for a ride on my motorcycle? You know, we can talk about our feelings and explore our emotional compatibility.
I thought you'd never ask.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the motorcycle is always ready for your dream girl. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
UTIs are the worst, and they always seem to show up at the worst times.
My romantic getaway? Not so romantic.
If you get UTIs, then you need to try Eucora. Don't let another UTI get in the way of your life. Eucora makes UTI relief products. They also make effective urinary health supplements backed by science.
Now I have peace of mind with Eucora.
Get relief and get ahead with Eucora. Try today at eucora.com/radio. UQORA.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
San Antonio Spurs about to head out on the rodeo road trip. They're going to take a 4-game losing streak with them. They'll start things off on Wednesday night in Miami against the Heat. Cowboys have started interviewing for the vacant defensive coordinator job, according to Jerry Jones. He said on an interview yesterday that things were to begin this morning. Joe Witt Jr., he's not going to be the guy. He's joining Dan Quinn in Washington.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix in Vegas for our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. 4 o'clock back in San Antonio, 2 o'clock here. The boys from the morning huddle have had a wonderful nap. They look showered. They look refreshed. They're back on Radio Row.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Who?
They don't look showered or refreshed.
Well, there's a reason we only put RJ on camera. If you're watching on YouTube.
It's been a bit rougher for me in the last 12 hours.
Yeah. Rob Thompson, RJ Ochoa, the morning huddle.
Yeah,
I like
huddle
that.
up together. Yeah. It kind of rolls off the tongue. We got to
please address Rob by his official title.
I have a new official because in the morning, as I introduce RJ Ochoa, he is the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. So he's RJ Ochoa, managing editor of Blogging the Boys, and
he was a little bit
Rob
jealous.
Thompson.
He was jealous. That's what
I need a title. I need something.
Well, what's the title?
This is a work in progress.
I see. I thought you came up with something.
There was one today
it was a listener.
I'm not sure
who suggested Professor in Chief.
So that
Professor.
That's not really a title, right?
Professor, the PIC.
I think the Chief of Transitional Strategy.
Oh, well,
would be a title.
How many times did you screw that up by day 3?
Well, this was just today. This was just, we're working it.
We have nicknames for you, too.
Yeah, but we can't get.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Big Fudge.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Big Fudge? Wait a second. You got to explain that.
Wow.
That could mean a lot of things.
Some things don't need explaining.
Big Fudge.
Can I explain the wind? Big Fudge.
I've thought about BM in a while. Wow.
Big Fudge.
I don't know how to take that. I mean, should I be insulted?
Come on, BF.
Is that a compliment?
It's all things all at once. It's like that movie, Anywhere, Everywhere.
If you don't know if they're making fun of you, then you roll with it.
Then they are.
That's Left Shoe, by the way.
That's Left Shoe over on the left. Yeah. Left Shoe and Big Fudge. That's the.
I like it.
Doesn't it feel?
Yeah. The morning dribble is off to a bad start.
Yeah. Which is also more appropriate to what we have going on. Hey, have you guys made the lap? Have you taken the tour?
Haven't been able to do that.
No, we've been busy. We
actually work.
Oh, you're right.
You might not want to walk that plank. That's an exit ramp you don't want to take.
No, remind it's Monday. Yeah, we credited you guys earlier. I mean, we get in yesterday. We come, we set up it like we always do, and go to dinner at the food court here, which was
fancy eating.
Yeah, big time. But we were all starving, and there was a Nathan's hot dog right there, and we're going for it, right? And then we get back to the house after we go, and we're like, I'm ready to go. Joe's ready to go. Everybody, and you're like, well, you guys have fun.
You guys know what time it is back home.
It was like 7, and you're like, I'm going to bed.
You know what, Jason? I've been doing this long enough to where my body clock, I woke up this morning at 2, and it felt like I was back at home. I didn't feel bad at all this morning. But the problem is when you see a clock, and it's 2:30.
Yeah.
And I'm getting ready to go to work. Even though in my body it's normal time, it doesn't feel like it's any more than, whether I'm in Vegas or San Antonio, my body clock is telling me that. But until you see a clock and you go, oh my gosh, I'm going on air and it's 3:50. Man,
yeah, that
seems like yesterday.
It did not help that all circumstances made it feel like we were doing something abnormal. There was nobody here. The only people here were actually doing what we were doing. And, you would think in a place that is seemingly operating on a 24/7 capacity that there would be, materials or whatever instruments, for those who have to do things.
Let's be honest.
Like coffee.
Yeah, they didn't put coffee out till 6.
I was getting there. Think about that. Till 6 local. 2:45.
But think about it.
I had to bag of famous Amos cookies just to survive.
6 local is normal for them.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
why should they do that for what were there 6 of you in here?
It's not like this place is closed. The casino's open.
They're not serving coffee at 4 a.m.
Yes, they are.
They're still serving beer because they want that guy continuing to play.
Well, there's somebody sitting at a table right now going, a shot of espresso means 3 more rolls. So, you'd figure there's a Starbucks open somewhere in this building just for business sake.
Well, see,
they should be stacking 5-hour energies.
What
I should be able to just grab one when I want.
Fireball is for.
They should have Red Bull just readily available, like in water fountains. I should have coffee at every turn. You want us caffeinated, man. You want me moving.
Yeah, I want Willy Wonka's chocolate river of coffee.
Yeah, it should be.
Well, Big Fudge should make that happen.
Big Fudge.
My goodness, these guys are a
Big
bunch
Fudge
of crybabies.
Come on.
I'm telling you, hey, I bought a whole bunch of coffee. When we went to the grocery store yesterday, all you got to do is brew it up.
Did anybody tell us that? At any point.
Well, you were at the store with me.
We all checked out differently.
You helped unload the car, and then you organized everything neatly on the kitchen table.
You're welcome. This morning, when you had your bagels, you were able to find everything you needed.
And I found the coffee just fine.
Was the sun up when that happened?
No, actually, it wasn't.
No
idea.
idea. The shade. It's rainy. The weather sucked. We didn't see the sun.
Gosh, I don't know what y'all saw when you came over. Tropicana Avenue, Trop Avenue for us locals. The Trop Avenue. Water over the curb, man.
Yeah.
This place is not equipped to handle the rain that's come through here, man. I was afraid water was going to come through the doors.
Yeah, that's what Spency said. He had no drainage. I said, well, then I have to. It never rains here.
I was here one August. And it rained. It was 110 when it started to rain. And
is that boiling water?
It literally sizzled off the street.
Yeah.
It sizzled off. It was steam. There was when the rain stopped, the water was gone. There weren't puddles. It literally seared off like it was a frying pan. So there's nowhere for the water to go.
I don't usually see the outside when I come to Vegas, except when I'm to the airport or to the casino. It's like I don't know what it's doing outside. That's my problem.
I spend most of my time here, but at some point I'd like to do some outside stuff.
Yeah.
They have stuff like racing cars and, there's things that
you want to go race a car?
Yes.
I
drive a Ferrari down the airport. There's all kinds of stuff.
That's the professor.
But I never go.
Right
now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you ever do that, Rob, Joanna got me that for my 40th birthday because I wanted a Porsche or a Ferrari. She said, well, I'm going to get you one. You get 6 laps.
Was that all you get, 6 laps?
You get 6 laps.
How long does it take before you're in the car, before they check you out? Like, is it an all-day experience, or is it just
it's pretty, and you can't drink.
Oh, that sucks.
What an unreasonable thing to ask.
Drive these, because I did a Ferrari and a Porsche. And
you act like you walked up holding a 16-ounce sort of paper bag.
Well, no, because they tell you that and it's really expensive, but honestly, you're 4 laps in before you feel comfortable enough in the car to really go.
Yeah.
And then it's over.
What did you drive?
A Porsche and a Ferrari.
You got to drive both?
Yeah, I did both.
Wow.
Which was better?
The Ferrari. Because I did that second, so I was a lot more aggressive with the Ferrari than I was in the Porsche. Because you get the dude sitting next to you telling you when to brake and do all that.
How did you get yourself out of the building? I can never extricate myself from the casino because once it's on, it's on.
I know it. It's paid in advance, and as expensive it is, you're going.
I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Because, maybe we hit a show, but for the most part, I don't see outside.
No, I'll blow up show tickets.
If this was nothing but tunnels, I would never need to see the light.
No, you wouldn't. And the air you breathe in here is just better. And I don't know. There's something about it. You hear the ding, ding,
Better's
ding,
not
ding,
the
ding,
word that comes to mind.
Yeah.
It smells a little different, that's for sure.
It depends on whether you go to the Mandalay Bay or Lucky's.
Well, I have come home smelling of orange and daddy issues from places here in Vegas. But this Mandalay has a particular Mandalay Bay odor.
This is not. It's the first time I've ever been to this particular
It's
place.
true, right? They pump extra oxygen in.
They do.
Hallucinogenics.
Keep you away into the air.
We're all high right now.
It's Mandalay Bay. You got Shark Reef there. They give you tropical air. Whatever. You'll believe anything here.
There's no sharks in the Shark Tank.
What?
It's just a big video.
No, it's not. It's not the sphere. There's real sharks in there.
I'm kidding.
I bought my tickets.
They weren't real white tigers either over there. I mean,
after Siegfried.
Yeah.
After he took that one.
Was it Siegfried or Roy?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Aren't they one and the same?
Well,
I mean, they might be.
I don't know.
I don't think they're still here though, or one of them is.
One passed.
Well, it was the guy that got chewed on.
Robbie, I'm trying to dance around the fact that his face was eaten off.
Well, yes. I mean.
But apparently he didn't have Wade Newton's guy.
No. Okay, we're going to put this out to the universe. This is a great way for everybody that is viewing to chime in on a show. We have a question to ask, and there's a lot riding on this question. When you think Las Vegas, who is the preeminent entertainment that comes to your mind? Has to still be alive.
All right, so currently living in.
We never offered that stipulation.
Oh, no, because there's been another answer. There's several others. But the current guy, I'm sorry, giving away something. But
so it's not Brittany.
Tipping my hand. Who is the preeminent entertainer when you think of Vegas? Who's the one that comes to mind when you come into Vegas?
RJ, you're up.
No, this isn't about RJ. I'm going to ask the listener because I know what RJ's going to say. We've had this discussion.
Yeah,
and he is so far from correct.
I'm sorry all of you have never done anything in the last I don't know how long.
But see, that's not what we're talking about. It's not about a
your
curse. I'm talking
justification
about
with Paul
Mr.
Catalina was
Vegas.
ridiculous. At least the justifications in this, periphery were somewhat sound. Y'all was like, we know that this person is not the best entertainer. We know that they're not the best dancer. We know that they're not the best singer, but we just have to say this because
He's
want
the
to stick
GOAT.
to the
You just
line.
described how you describe the GOAT. Yeah, it's like you asked who's the best quarterback
this
ever.
chat is off their rock.
So
would you like to read all the answers
Are
on
the
the chat?
answers? Does it start with a Wayne and end with a Newton?
Yes.
I'm sad for all of you.
Yes.
See,
although
I hate to do it.
Gary goes Johnny Cash and Coog says Neil Diamond.
I would accept Neil Diamond.
Has Neil Diamond ever performed in Vegas? I don't know.
He stopped by, but we're talking about
Read Joshua's comment.
Yeah, he says the Backstreet Boys.
I'm not going down that
The
way.
Backstreet Boys.
I mean, that's different kind of entertainment.
Tell me what
but
year
not
you were
quite as
born.
popular.
No, Celine Dion, Britney Spears, Blue Man Group. Any magician ever, the Jabberwockies. I mean, these are all acceptable answers.
I don't
in my
even
book.
know what the Jabberwockies is.
Dude,
well, that's the beauty of it.
YouTube, their Michael Jackson PYT dance on America's Best Dance Crew. They were sick.
Their dance crew.
Yeah, but they wear masks.
Is that the one that danced around with Shaq?
Yeah.
Do you know that for sure, or you're just saying
I know
it?
that for sure.
Okay.
So you're comparing those guys.
They're the
dancing
goats of
dudes
Las
in
Vegas.
masks.
They are the
So
goats
Mr.
of
Wayne
modern day Las Vegas.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry, y'all are
gosh.
living in 1991, but the ghosts
Actually,
of
it's
modern.
1971.
Well,
Well, I mean,
You're doing us a favor.
if you want to do that, I mean, U2 is coming off an incredible residency
That's
here
a
this
great
year.
answer too.
I don't think you two in Las Vegas.
No one asked you, Big Fudge. Left shoe
I'm
was
just
speaking.
saying. I mean, nobody says that. Or
Maroon-
Britney Spears.
Maroon 5
You are
has
acting like
done a
Britney Spears
residency
is a
here.
seminal entertainer of this part of the world, and she is a far better entertainer from
She's
a
a
dancing.
nut
I
job.
singing
have seen
perspective than
Elton
Wayne
John here.
Newton. Does Wayne Newton move beyond a 3-circle or 3-foot radius in his
Well,
performance?
Well, the dude's 105.
I'm surprised the dude's alive.
I
so
mean,
let's be.
I'm just saying, if Britney's using a snake, I mean,
She doesn't
She
use a snake.
assaulted Wemby.
all I'm
so
saying is whoa. I mean,
after she went after our guy.
Okay, well, I can accept that. I mean, if you've got an allegiance
Donnie and
that you
Marie?
pledge. That's actually what Paul brought up a little while ago.
Cher?
Well, Donnie's actually
Cher's a great
performing
answer
here.
too, but the idea that all
but
y'all
it's Wayne
happen to
Newton.
have one singular answer,
But don't
because
you
it's the
just-
right answer.
What, I mean, don't you just understand the fact that you can try to fight the tide, but the tide
the
is
Tide
coming.
just agreed with me that I took the field and y'all took Wayne Newton.
RJ, let's put in. Look, who is the greatest quarterback in NFL history?
If you're going to compare Wayne Newton to
No,
Tom Brady, then
I'm
gonna
not
leave right
comparing
now.
anything. I'm asking you, who's the greatest quarterback?
I think this is a weird comp, but it's Tom Brady.
Wayne Newton would have
Tom
been better.
Brady. Okay, so there are going to be a lot of quarterbacks come after Tom Brady. They may not all live up to what Tom Brady did.
This is a
Right, but I mean,
far-fetched, Big Fudge.
But what if
No, that's a huge. That's a great example.
What if I said Joe Montana?
Again, you guys are really
That guy that sells beer?
the morning brigade would throw you out of the sharks for this.
What the hell is a morning brigade?
Oh, you know what the morning brigade is.
I don't know what the morning brigade is.
Solidarity Brothers.
We ride for the brigade.
We ride for the brigade.
They're the ones
Solidarity
drinking
Brothers.
coffee while you guys are doing without.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they're the ones listening to Britney Spears and Celine Dion and Cher and
going,
literally every
They
other
don't
artist in the
hold
world.
a candle to Mr. Wayne Newton.
Who sings Candles in the Wind or 5,000 Candles in the Wind?
Mr. Wayne Newton better.
I was going to freak out if he actually sang that song. So I don't know who sings that song.
Is that Kansas? Candle in the Wind?
5,000
No.
Candles in the
Oh,
Wind.
they've got others. Their song is Dust in the Wind.
Oh, dust. It's not Candle
Might
in
be
the Wind.
more appropriate to Mr. Wayne Newton at this day and age.
Yes.
He lives on a farm called Shenandoah.
Look, can one of you read Fred's comment, please?
What is Fred?
For us, Fred says on YouTube, for us older folks, it's probably Wayne Newton, but I would say Celine Dion for my second choice.
Can I at least get an acknowledgement?
I will acknowledge the fact that you're in the ballpark.
Okay,
Which is fine.
Because y'all were like,
We're talking
Because I think Celine
goats.
Dion probably is the heir apparent right
We're talking goats.
this is a goat. What are you talking about? Have you ever heard the song "That's the Way It Is"?
She
That will
can't-
up your.
Doesn't she have a throat problem, though?
She's
She can't
got
talk?
something called stiff person syndrome.
Stiff person.
Something like that. It's
That kind of leaves you
I
when you
kinda
get
have
older
that
as a
too.
guy, right?
I mean, say, I don't mean to belittle something that sounds terrible, but the poor woman has.
Damn.
Y'all are on a different plane right now.
How do you get that?
I wonder if Mr. Wayne Newton suffers from the same problem.
I still want to know why you chose morning huddle and not the opening tip or the morning tip.
For that reason.
Yeah.
For the very reason that everybody's listening went, yeah, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
That won't work out poorly.
What?
There won't be an FCC citation or anything like that in his office.
Come on.
At some point. So I would like to thank Mr. Pat McAfee for allowing us the leeway to say things like that.
Yeah. Right. He won't be here till Wednesday.
He's not here?
So, yeah, he's not
his
here.
set is here.
Oh, I was going to go.
Dude, at the set, it looks like a house.
We
man, that's
we
Have
hung
you
out with
talked
him in
about our
Miami.
house?
well done.
Yeah.
How many different levels do you think there are? Levels
In our house?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
wow.
got to be like 6
Three,
or
I'd
7
say, right?
different. No,
Our rent house?
because the dining room is on its own plane,
Yeah.
and Rob's room is on a different. Then the kitchen.
Oh,
Rob,
wow.
for the record, Rob's going to kill himself by the end of the week.
Oh gosh.
Rob chose a great room. If he goes out the back door, he'll literally fall in a pool.
One step into the icy cold pool. You're just going to find me with frozen in the pool.
All the rooms you step up. So Rob has to step up, and then there's a pool table.
Yeah, it's a shimmy.
And so he has to do a little maneuvering, but there is a step down so he can maneuver around the pool table. As I'm thinking of this, how in the hell do you shoot pool at that end? Because
you'll fall off the cliff.
You're going to fall off the cliff.
There are some questions that need to be answered over the. I'm serious. There is of great concern.
When we went grocery shopping, I was going to buy caution tape on that ledge just for Rob Thompson.
I need one of those canes that I can just kind of feel my way. Like there's a curve, there's a step because they come out of nowhere. There's steps where there shouldn't be steps, and it's not just up; it's down. So you might be looking into a room, and there's 3 steps down, but you got to take them.
Technically speaking, there's steps everywhere there needs to be. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. It would be
I
flat.
envision a series of ramps.
I'm telling you, there's
or an escalator, even, right?
There are several planes, though. Like, it's at least 6.
Our house is incredible, although it would
be.
fail an ADA inspection.
Yeah.
It's one of those like.
Well, that's a '70s model right there. I mean,
But the funny thing is, like Schwampy was like, I want this from over here, so I don't have to deal with stairs. And I think he has more stairs, just not all at once, just to get to his room.
No, it seems like they just kept like we could use a hallway here. Let's just
I see 6 rooms down there. We're going to dig a hole. That's going to be the dining room, and then we're going to go even deeper, and then they're going to step back up to the living room. So there's like a cavern.
And over here's the Street Fighter set.
Yeah,
and then if you go to the backyard, there's a swimming pool, a hot tub, and then there's like 8 steps down where you're actually lower than the swimming pool.
What?
Yeah, sitting in a little sitting area.
Really?
Yes, right outside
that. It's below sea level.
It is
So you
literally
gotta wear
below
earplugs.
sea level.
Well, we didn't go out in the backyard because we've been at work all day.
Exactly right.
Well, you know, when you have all day to kick around like this.
Exactly.
In the rain
Yeah, you guys are off at 8 o'clock in the morning. You got all day.
That's true. That's actually literally true.
You know, and they were mad at us today.
Yeah,
I mean, RJ was a little salty this morning.
he was downright grumpy
I mean,
as hell.
he texted the group that they were going to Uber back.
No, Rob did.
All right, somebody did. I don't know.
Well, get it correct. Tell the story right.
I said they texted the group. The morning guys, they texted the group, said we're going to Uber back.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody responded.
Well, you didn't feel like there was a reason to
And
respond.
RJ was like, well, we were kind of hoping when he would say, no, don't worry, we'll come pick you
Well,
up.
that was kind of a passive-aggressive beg for help, yes.
Yeah.
We'll admit.
Well, why didn't you just say,
well,
hey, Schwampy, are you picking us up?
You know, if only you guys knew the time the show was on and, how to play it.
I was about to start sounding like someone I love and care for, so I'm just going to be real quiet. Because you should have known, Jason.
Should have known.
What, that we needed a ride.
Do you know how far we
You guys need a moment? I mean, I'm just wondering, you all right? I mean,
no,
RJ, I think we better back off for a minute.
I actually rode in an Uber. I rode in a cab for the
This
first
is a
time.
Rob
in
Left
years.
Shoe thing.
When was the last time you were in a legit cab?
You're in a cab here?
Yeah.
are in Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, I got a message for you that's going to change your dental game in about 60 seconds. Let me ask you a question. You fed up with that same old dental routine? You know what I'm talking about. The endless trips to the dentist, dealing with missing teeth and temporary fixes that never seem to stick? Well, Doctor's Implants is your answer. At Doctor's Implants, they're board-certified oral and facial surgeons. Well, they're ready to transform your smile. You can say goodbye to the frustration of traditional dentistry and welcome a brighter future. Don't let old-school dentistry hold you back any longer. Embrace your future with full-mouth dental implants at Doctor's Implants. You can check them out for yourself at doctorsimplants.com. And here's the kicker. When you call them, 210-640-0000, and tell them that I sent you, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz, you're going to get a complimentary consultation and a CT scan. Your journey to a perfect smile begins at Doctor's Implants. Don't wait. Call them now. 210-640-0000.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because you know I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Jason Minix here. Guys, your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. If you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Conquer your New Year's resolutions. Go to fixmylowt.com to book online. That's fixmylowt.com.
Attention all homeowners, do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-NEW-WINDOWS for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS right now. Don't wait. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS. 800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful
and dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
That's right. Sunday, you can listen to the big game here on 94.1 and brought to you by Flight by Yingling. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix, the Blitz in Vegas. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
Dude, I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. Look, all the behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on. We're at a massive convention center. So during the commercial break, this might surprise some of you, but Joe had to go to the restroom.
I did.
The question was, would he make it back before the end of the commercial break? Yes.
And I made it.
You made it.
Perfect.
I literally sat down while big voice guy was talking about the big game on Sunday.
But it's not because I had to, took a long time to go. It's like the restroom is, way over there.
Well,
it's a long way.
But you got to factor in walking there, what you're doing in there that time.
Right.
And then walking back.
Well, you wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Right.
But I think that factors into what you're doing in there.
Checking.
Right.
Just checking. Because some people don't.
You know,
we have some celebrity that walked out of the bathroom without washing his hands.
Our good friend DJ Automatic, who my daughter works with in Phoenix from the Dana Cortez show. They were at the Grammys last night covering the Grammys, and Otto tweeted out, not going to name names, but a major celebrity just left the men's room without washing his hands.
See that?
See, and that's just no, maybe he carries soap in his pocket. Maybe he's got a handler that has the little soap in his pocket.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
hand
not the
sanitizer.
case. But I bet he went out and, hey, how you doing?
Shaking
Good to
hands
see you.
with a gazillion people.
It's just water. I promise. It's just water.
Well, maybe he didn't miss, so he didn't feel the need to wash.
You're holding on to something that probably needs to be washed. So that gets on your
bottom
hand.
line, kids. Wash your hands when you go to the bathroom.
For goodness
especially
sake.
When you're at an event where you're shaking hands with hundreds, thousands of people by the end of the week.
Yes.
And Radio Row is a convention of radio guys, people that you see once a year. And what I'm really finding very interesting with RJ Ochoa, who needs a really good nickname. If you guys have any suggestions, tweet them at Joe Reinagle 210, at Jason Minix. Don't tweet them to RJ. It's got to come organically, and he's going to be upset about it. So if he's going to call you hot fudge or big fudge, or no fudge or whatever, if that
had a rhyme or reason,
well, there probably is. They just don't have the balls to tell you to your face. So I got
to listen to the show tomorrow.
Well, which is impossible because they're on from 4 to 8 in the morning, and we're not up yet.
Well, that's true.
At local time here. So you're like Swampy. He gave himself the nickname. Well,
yeah, he did.
He didn't give himself the nickname. His friends gave him the nickname, but he told us the nickname. Here, ladies and gentlemen,
Tim
Swampy.
Considering all the crap with a capital S you give me, you'll have to thank me now with all your audience because I just got Wayne Newton for Thursday.
Oh,
nice. What crap do we give you?
Oh, please.
What crap do we give you?
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Hold on. Why do we call you Swampy?
Because some silly name you guys came up with. I don't know where it came from. You guys are just, are really original.
I could pull up the email. My friends don't call me Schwamp ass for nothing. Like, well, what's the story there?
I think the sun. I think I was drinking quite heavily back then, but I'm on the wagon now.
That's good.
Yeah, we've seen you in Vegas, man. You've fallen off. You got to start that counter over.
Wayne Newton Thursday, baby.
All right. Well, more importantly, though, You got a dentist appointment for tomorrow morning
at 7 a.m.
At 7 a.m.
And I do owe you for setting it up indirectly. Yes, thank you.
What do you mean indirectly?
If you got a dentist friend.
Well, seriously,
that worked out.
The guy
7 a.m.
The guy said,
Wow.
so yesterday, I mean, we hadn't been here 5 hours.
Yeah.
And we had our first injury. And it was Swampy lost a tooth, broke a tooth. I broke a tooth
On
a
a
couple weeks
French
ago.
fry.
Well, he claims it was a French fry. and more importantly, my French fry, right? The leftover fries from that I had. He's like, oh, your French fry, man. Check out my tooth. Like it was my fry, right? and they weren't crispy enough fries to break a tooth. So it had to have been something else, but
it's called old age.
The fry might have been the final. Whatever, dude. I broke a tooth. I still next week I got to go get the permanent crown because I had to go get the temporary one. It happens. Mine was on a Dorito of all things, and I eat Doritos all the time. But this one, it took out a tooth. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking. I'm like, all right, you're the team doctor of the Raiders and the hockey team
It's a
here,
sweet gig.
The Golden Knights, yeah.
right. Well, I'm a hockey guy. I know you know a good dentist. So I took the opportunity. He's on the air. What's he going to do? Tell me no?
Right.
It's only going to cost you $5 million, but he'll do a hell of a job, Tim.
That's a sweet gig to be the doctor for both those teams.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that dude,
he must be good.
You talk about Mr. Vegas. That dude looked like Mr. Vegas.
Well, it's interesting because the picture that they had on the little flyer of stuff these did not look like the guy that sat down in front of us.
Well, as his practice grew and he got more money, he did a little hair implants and it looked nice.
He just started letting it go. So the team doctor for the Raiders and the Golden Knights called you back and said, I got a dentist guy.
Set me up for a 7 a.m. tomorrow morning dentist, and they made it sound like this was an emergency. So this is some big-time negotiating.
Nice.
Well, what does that mean?
Someone called someone and said, get off your ass and make it happen. So
they
I'm
did.
happy.
It's not what you know sometimes. It's who you know,
the
right?
team doctor. So now, is the dentist you're going to see on our insurance plan?
Yeah, that's what I had to do for the last half hour. Make sure it was on the same plan.
And here's the good news: if you need a crown, they'll give you the temporary one. Then you have to come back to Vegas in a couple of weeks to get the permanent one.
Exactly.
It's a whole nother trip out here.
It's a whole nother trip.
It sounds like it was a strategic tooth breaking on your part.
I'm not going to say anything except, are we? Is it time for a break?
It's possible. Then again, it might not be. I mean, we've been off the clock all day.
I know.
I blame Rob and RJ.
I would too.
We're following their lead.
Well, we shouldn't. You know what? They don't invite us on their show.
Well, they do. But, I mean, are you going to go on their show out here?
Yeah.
You're a liar.
I'm going to go in the 8 o'clock hour.
And by the way, if you don't come up with a good name for their show, since they're calling you, what, Mr. Fudge?
Yeah, Big Fudge.
Fudge.
I don't know what the hell that means.
I mean,
well, he's the left foot. What does that mean?
Left shoe.
Oh, I thought it was left foot.
Which I don't know what that means either. I have no idea. No idea.
Me, Big Fudge, you left shoe.
Look, this week they could rip us all they want because those dudes are getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to work.
Yeah.
We got home from the bar last night at 2 o'clock in the morning. Nothing like Joe looking at his watch that's still on San Antonio time. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We got to go home.
It was. As far as my body was concerned, it was 3 o'clock in the morning.
It's 3 o'clock. He said we got to go.
Dude.
Oh, Cowboys, do they have a DC yet? We'll talk about their options. Coming up here on the Blitz. On 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Andrew Sendejo will join us live here at 5 o'clock here on the Blitz in Vegas for AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Road coverage brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. You know, if you're having any issues at your house with your plumbing, your AC, your heater, you know there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, 210-651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. 210-651-5899 is the phone number. 651-5899 or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, day 2 of Media Row. We'll look at what went down on the big media night. What was crazy? Who'd we see? Lots to report on.
The Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator situation continues to be fascinating. We have some thoughts, and we want the brigade bright and early with us at 6 a.m. to start. Bring the coffee and maybe a donut or two. We're ready to roll. We huddle up at 6.
Patients everywhere are experiencing joint pain relief thanks to QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. So how does this non-surgical approach work? QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Aaron Wolkoff explains.
Is like when you get a paper cut and the cells that come onto that scene first stop the bleeding, and then it recruits more cells to form new skin and new soft tissue. And then you look down a week later, 2 weeks later, and it's like nothing happened and that paper cut never existed.
In this same way, QC Kinetics uses your natural biologics to help repair and restore aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
We take those same similar cells in different areas that are arthritic, are painful, and we cause this kind of internal self-healing that can resolve patients' pain.
Relief without surgery. See if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
Call QC Kinetics 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Over the past decade, the Roof Hub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roof Hub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roof Hub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at gawon'twait.com. That's gawon'twait.com.
Hi, everybody. It's Joe Reinagel. You know, now is a great time of year to get your roof inspected and ready for our crazy spring weather. Be it hot, cold, rain, or hail. Who knows what Mother Nature has in store for us this year? Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. A quality roof overhead means comfort, confidence, and certainly peace of mind. Now is the time to get your roof ready for spring. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Howdy.
In Vegas, AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Road coverage brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Andrew Sendejo will join us coming up in 15 or so minutes.
He'll have some thoughts on Mike Zimmer.
You know, it's interesting because, yeah, he played for Zimmer for a long time when he was with the Minnesota Vikings. And Zimmer is one of those older school kind of coaches. And so, you know, and knowing Andrew Sendejo as well as we do, you know, Smith and Valley product, and, you know, has been around. He's got these hats that he's made that say, make football violent again.
Is he selling those things?
Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the Blitz with Jason.
It sure is.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, that's good. I'd love one, is what I say. So,
are you looking for a freebie, or are you going to buy one?
Well, I mean, his handler is standing right in front of me. I wonder if she could, pull off some magic. I'm just wondering.
I don't have one.
Oh, well, do you want one?
Well, of course.
You're one of those softies, though. You kind of like the way the soft flag football type is.
Who the hell said that? Why would you say that? I have now. I mean, now I will say this, though. When I see a penalty that I think is an obvious penalty based on today's rule, I don't lose my mind that that's not a penalty. No, it is a penalty the way they call it today. A very different argument when you look at it that way. That doesn't mean I like the rules. I think a lot of them are ridiculous in the way, the inconsistency in which they're called. But when you think about Mike Zimmer's name and Ron Rivera's name are the two most prominent, I want to know, why does Mike Vrabel not get any more run? Unless he just wants nothing to do with being a coordinator this year. He wants a whole year off. Bill Belichick, not that he would be a coordinator, that he would, lower himself to that, although I do think it might be needed, because otherwise, a year out of the game at his age, and, the idea of so many going younger, you wonder, will Belichick get a chance to be a head coach again and break Don Shula's record?
Well, I think for Bill Belichick, it's not a matter of being a coordinator. It's a matter of you're going to have to relinquish some power and control. And I think that was the problem with the Atlanta job. The owner there wanted to hire him. It was everybody else that didn't. And that's the problem, because he wanted control. And, I mean, those days are over. If he wants to coach, I think somebody would hire him. But I don't think they're going to give him the control that he had in New England all those times. So the question is, can he do that and relinquish that and be okay with it? And that's a big question.
Well, and that's as head coach. If you're a coordinator, clearly you have given up control.
Well, sure.
But, and I saw his kid was named the defensive coordinator at University of Washington. So that tells me Bill Belichick is not working this year.
No.
Because his kid was going to go wherever dad went.
Well, look, I just don't think it would shock me beyond belief if Bill Belichick took a coordinator's job. I mean, Mike Vrabel may not do that either, just for that reason, and just wants to sit out. Look, there are 4, 5, 6 openings every year in the NFL. I mean, it's just the way it works. It happens that way. And so I think if I'm a Vrabel, or even a Belichick for that matter, you say, hey, I'll wait. I'll sit out a year. Vrabel's still getting paid by the Titans. He doesn't have to play. He doesn't have to do anything. He's still going to make a nice living. So I think he sits out and he waits.
And I agree. Although, if you're the Cowboys, do you not put names out there that people would get excited about if there's no chance of them getting the job, like a Mike Vrabel, because then it looks like you settled. Like Dan Quinn, dude, you're the head coach of Washington. You were like the 8th option, right? I mean, you got the job. Congratulations. They're all telling you that they love you and they're excited that you're there. They wanted this guy. They wanted that guy. They wanted this one. They wanted that one. And all right, Dan, you get it.
Jeez, I just well, that's exactly. I guess that's what I don't know, because and I say that because the NFL is such a weird place. So maybe that was the plan all along for Dan Quinn. Maybe this whole Ben Johnson thing was just although I'm reading reports now that the Commanders are mad at Ben Johnson because they thought they had a deal with him. And anyway, that's
look,
the way
there's a lot of he said, she said.
Right, that's what I mean.
With Ben Johnson, he didn't interview well. He said that he thought they were basketball people, Magic. That were running the show, and he didn't think that they were football enough It's interesting, the various stories out there for somebody that didn't get the job. And if you're Dan Quinn, who the hell cares if you were the first option or the 15th option? You're the one with the job. But if you're the Cowboys, right now you've got Mike Zimmer's name being floated out, and you got Ron Rivera. And people like RJ Ochoa at bloggingtheboys.com gives both of those a big thumbs down. Even the stuff that Mr. Positive RJ Ochoa is putting out on Blogging the Boys.
Wait, is there a different RJ Ochoa here somewhere?
That was called tongue-in-cheek.
Oh, okay, got you. I was checking.
There's some stories like, well, we're not really excited about this, but let's look for the positives. And you open up the article, and it's a blank piece of paper because that's what they offer. Although I think Mike Zimmer could be a really good DC in Dallas based on what I've seen him do with Minnesota. The personnel that the Cowboys have, it all seems to fit what Mike Zimmer does. What I worry about is if they go find somebody like, well, you know what, we've been doing this. Let's completely change it up, and we're going to run this. And you realize everybody you've drafted for the last 5 years are for this system. And it takes a couple of years to adjust if you're going to change systems like that.
Poor Mike McCarthy would be screwed, wouldn't he? Because that defense would suck, and then he'd be fired. That's a shame. The problem is, Jason, sincerely, I haven't heard any other candidates. Maybe this is the only pool the Cowboys have to choose from. I mean, honestly, the only two guys that are even considering coming to the Dallas Cowboys. When we act like there's this big pool of candidates out there, and it doesn't appear that that's the case.
You know, there is a big pool. The question is, will the Cowboys go search that pool? Will they look for the needles in the haystack? We have seen college head coaches take coordinator jobs in the NFL because right now it feels like being a coordinator in the NFL is a better job than being a head coach in the NCAA. So if that's the case, while we keep hearing Zimmer, we keep hearing Ron Rivera, and we all know that Jerry likes a defensive coordinator that has past head coaching experience in the NFL, would he be talking to some of those college coaches that might like that jump, just so they don't have to deal with the BS of recruiting?
I would like to see somebody come out of the clear blue sky, and the Cowboys hire him. He gets things going and on track. The point you made a few minutes ago, though, is a legit point. If it's a completely different system, then that could add some years to the process. But I would like the only reason I even considered to like Mike Zimmer is because he is a hard-nosed guy, and maybe that's what some of those guys, some of those so-called superstars on that defensive unit for the Cowboys need. Maybe somebody to throw a leash around them and bring them back a little bit.
You know, with Zimmer being in Dallas for so long, a lot of us might forget how good of a coach he was, how much his players liked him. Guys like a Darren Woodson, guys like Dat Wynn. I mean, I know, Mike Zimmer, Dat was still coaching. It was like, dude, you want to come coach up here? No. But Mike and Dat used to talk a lot and just their defensive philosophies. He is in that area, a nice guy. And I do think he was a successful head coach. But at the same time, probably one of those guys is a better coordinator, just with everything that he was able to do and everything that he was able to get done. And maybe I'm just trying to talk myself into Mike Zimmer over Ron Rivera as if those are the only two options that are out there.
I think you are. And let's face it, it doesn't appear to me, since he's been out of coaching for 3 years now.
Well, wasn't he working with Deion's staff in Colorado?
Sure, he's an analyst, but he wasn't a coach.
Well, again, because he's getting paid by somebody else.
Nobody's been calling him, though. Don't you think? Now, all of a sudden, he said, oh, yeah, I'd be interested in that Dallas Cowboys job. Sure. Maybe nobody was knocking on the door. Nobody was ringing the phone. So that's an issue. That's a problem.
Well, and again, I mean, why he was out for so long, maybe it's contract, maybe it's he needed a break, get some health things taken care of. If he's been rested, rejuvenated, ready to go, wants to tackle it, and it's the Dallas Cowboys, which would also tell me if you've been out of it for 3 years, because I'm sure he's been called. All these guys get called, the retreads. There's enough players on that Dallas defense that he likes, that he thinks he could do something with. Because the guy that finally helps the Cowboys get to the promised land, that guy's getting statues, right?
Has that guy been born yet?
No.
Okay, just checking. Well, this should excite you then. Let's hire Mike Zimmer, and then McCarthy gets fired, and guess who the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys is? Mike Zimmer. That would make Cowboy fan happy.
Is that it? All right. We've got a nickname suggested for one RJ Ochoa that might actually work. If he's calling you hot fudge and me left shoe. Oh, big
left shoe.
Am I left foot or left shoe?
Is that like left eye? Who was it?
Lisa, left eye.
Left eye.
Carlos Rodriguez tweets in at Joe Reinagle 210 at J Semenix. Give RJ the nickname Mort, short for Morton, because he's always salty.
You know, Mort kind of fits RJ.
I think he'd be a good Mort.
Yeah.
I think he would be a good Mort because he's so riled up right now. He's talking without a microphone, expecting us to actually respond to what he is saying about being called Mort.
Oh, my goodness.
I like that one. That one's in the clubhouse. That one's got possibilities.
No doubt. Mort. I like Mort. We call him Morty.
Morty in the morning. That won't get screwed up 87 different ways. Your morning Morty could have all kinds of different meanings.
No question. Well, thanks, Carlos.
Want a Mort in your huddle? In your morning huddle? Rob Thompson and Mort.
Rob and Mort.
Well, it'll be T-Mort. Thompson and Morton. T-Mort. We're going somewhere. We're going somewhere fast.
Not sure about that, but we are going somewhere.
Well, I mean, yeah, we are going somewhere. I didn't say it was positive.
Yes.
But then again, neither is RJ, so it works. That's why he's Mort. I like that one. Good job, Carlos. You win nothing, but we appreciate the suggestion. Now, if you do want to win something, we've got tickets to give away to go see Hunter Hayes at the Aztec Theater. What'd you say, Pledge? Well, why did you put it on the rundown for today? So we're not giving away Hunter Hayes tickets right now?
Man, all those Hunter Hayes people are just bawling their eyes out right now.
Absolutely. How bizarre is that?
I know it.
Well, you're not going to win those tickets right now because Pledge just said no.
Tune in tomorrow, though.
You could.
Want those tickets.
It's a possibility. Yeah, we'll have Hunter. And now he's deleting it off the rundown. Thanks, Pledge. Thanks, Pledge. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio sports star Andrew Sendejo, former Minnesota Viking, Smithson Valley Ranger, joins us next here on the Blitz as we're in Vegas for our Radio Row coverage. Of course, we got the big game coming up this Sunday, last game of the year. You want to add a lot of excitement to this game? Make sure you go download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up and start playing the Pick'em game, which is a ton of fun to play. To build a Pick'em entry, you pick between 2 and 5 players, and all you have to do is select higher or lower on their predicted stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money in one single night. It's a fantasy game, legal in Texas, and a ton of fun to play. So go to the website, UnderdogFantasy.com, or download their easy-to-use mobile app. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Then you're set and ready for the big game. Plus, they'll give you a special pick of higher than a half total yard to use in your first Pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code STAR. Go download and get signed up today.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
All right, guys, who's ready for the biggest game of the season this Sunday? Hey, it's James Pledger. Come pregame with me and San Antonio Sports Star and the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks out at the Twin Peaks Park North location starting at noon. Show up early. The first 100 fans get a free square, and every fan will walk away with a free fried pickles bounce back. This is going on at all 4 area Twin Peaks locations. So come join me this Sunday and register to win tickets to Machine Head while you're here. That's starting at noon at Twin Peaks Park North, 410 and Blanco Road.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from the Blitz. Guys, Synergenics can help conquer your New Year's resolutions. Do you have lack of energy, motivation, and possibly low libido? These could be caused by low T levels. At Synergenics, they exclusively specialize in testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And at Synergenics, you will get your results back at your first visit. To book your appointment, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Progressive asks, what do an escaped leopard,
We're live from the zoo where a leopard has escaped.
a growling stomach, an uneaten tuna sandwich, and a backdoor doggy door have in common? They can lead to an unexpected kitchen renovation.
Yeah, hi. Is this the zoo? Your leopard is in my kitchen.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Do you ever feel hot spots or cold drafts around your home while watching your favorite team play? Your windows may be to blame. Call Maverick Windows today at 800-972-3631 and sign up for a free quote and get back in the end zone. That's 800-972-3631.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Mike Zimmer or Ron Rivera, they seem to be the 2 leading candidates to replace Dan Quinn as the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. Jerry Jones said yesterday that interviews began this morning. USA Today reporting that Ohio State offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien likely to become the head coach at Boston College. And the Spurs Rodeo road trip, it begins on Wednesday in Miami.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons
The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. In Las Vegas, our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Road coverage continues, presented by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. 5 o'clock in San Antonio, and joined by former Smithson Valley Ranger Andrew Sendejo. What's up, man?
What's up, man? It's been a while.
We're becoming an annual event here, on Radio Row. Though we talk to you throughout the year, but this is fun. You love coming to Radio Row.
Yeah, no, it's good to see some familiar faces, see you guys. Just see some other guys that I played with, catch up with other people. Always get to go to a new city every year, so always a good time.
So what is that like when you see some guys you used to play with? Y'all swap stories? You say hello? Is there any kind of bonding going on there?
Yeah, you just, you obviously you kind of keep up with each other through social media, some, responses to, different posts and different things, some DMs, but not a lot of face-to-face. So it's always good to catch up, make sure they're doing good, they're healthy. And so it's always good to see the guys in person. So
when you think about the fact that you're not playing anymore, even last year, I thought, you're going to go back and play if you get a call. Yeah, and you stayed out. Is it harder the further away you get from your playing days?
No, it's easier because you realize you're like, if I tried to sprint right now, I would blow both my hamstrings off my body. The further you get away from having to tackle a large running back, you watch the games now, and I'm just sitting there thinking, like, I could not do that right now. My whole body would explode. So it's, for me, it was, I did my time. I played as hard as long as I could.
Did your time like you were in prison.
Know, right?
I did my time.
Like I gave it all I had. I played a lot longer than I thought I was going to play. And so, you have to be satisfied with that and be happy with what you were able to accomplish while you had the opportunity. And, it's almost like a new life in a sense. You kind of go into this next chapter of your life that you don't always know when that's going to happen. Some guys, they do, retire when they, whenever they want to, depending on their situation. Some of us, play for as long as they can. And so it's kind of like almost like a fresh start going into another chapter of your life.
Is it, do most guys go into something else? When they retire from football, because most of you guys are still very young when you retire from football. Most guys have that second career.
Yeah. And I think that's why a lot of guys, stay involved, whether it's in coaching or just athletics in general, is, that's part of your life. And it's one of the kind of only ways to continue to get those highs and lows and excitement of the game is to be, involved in some capacity, whether it's a coach, an assistant, whatnot, and to be able to, stay in that kind of like sports bubble in a sense.
Andrew Sendejo joining us here on the Blitz 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Knowing, watching you play in high school, right? Watching you play in the NFL, you're a big hitter. You've got hats that I love. If you've got one, show it to our people watching on YouTube. Because I love this. I assume you're selling these.
Which camera? Where?
Right. That one.
Yeah, one of these. We'll see it. Make football violent again.
Yes. So this hat. So there's a lot of stories behind this.
a lot of stories.
It's in 2018 I wore that hat and kind of went viral. The NFL had changed a bunch of these helmet rules and whatnot, which I totally understand. But some of them were a little egregious to where I felt like it was almost impossible to abide by the league rules, and it was actually making defensive players. It was putting them in an unsafe position by asking us to try to dip our head out of the way. And when you do that and you put your head to either side, that's when you get hit in the side of the head. And that's when you actually get knocked out and get a lot of these concussions. And I'd been wearing it for probably 6 months until they changed the league rules, and then all of a sudden some media guy snapped a pic, and SportsCenter posted it, TMZ posted it, a couple other people. But I resurrected these hats because I had a guy come up to me in an airport about a month ago, and he just walked up to me and said, "Hey man, make football violent again." He just gave me a dap and he just walked off. And I was thinking, shoot, like I didn't realize like that was a thing. Like when I was in Minnesota, people would come up to me and they would say, "Hey man, make football violent again," or they would ask me to sign that with my name. And so, I sent out a little, a little tweet and some Instagram posts, and I was like, "Hey, like, should I resurrect these hats?" And out of the very small following that I had a lot of responses, and so I said, "Screw it, there's some hats." You can actually buy these online. We have a little landing page for them. It's www.mfva.shop. Stands for Make Football Violent Again. And not to be misconstrued, being violent doesn't mean hitting with your head. You can be violent and hit with your shoulder. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to. It's more of kind of a mentality of we're not trying to play flag football, and that being a old school kind of hard nosed defensive player, you got to be physical. We got to be violent at times.
You were a big hitter. You were known for that. You were a big hitter. Andrew, I don't know how defensive guys, especially secondary guys, play anymore in the NFL. The one rule that drives me nuts is the underthrown pass, and the receiver comes back, the defensive guy says, and pass interference. How do you play like that?
You don't. You just get the flag, and then you keep playing.
It's crazy.
It's, I always say, like, if I go back in time, it probably would have been a receiver because all the rules are going against us. And receivers get paid more money just to, have all the rules in their favor, and, they can basically do whatever they want. But it is tough being a DB. It's part of it. It's, obviously it's an offensive league. The rules are in their favor. And that's just how my life went. And I was a defensive back. And so I just tried to uphold, that physical mentality. I wasn't like a cover corner, although I did play nickel for one playoff game against the Saints, where I was one-on-one in the slot with Mike Thomas and Ted Ginn, if you know who those guys are.
Yes.
They're pretty good receivers. It's tough, and, the rules will continue to kind of go in the favor of the offense, just how it is.
Andrew Sendejo joining us here on the Blitz. Big hitter for sure. I know your last play, you don't remember, right?
I remember it because I have a video of it, but at the time, yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, I think this happened, and then you watch the play and you're like, oh, I do remember that now. But yeah, it was a pretty aggressive, very gruesome concussion. It was in my 12th year. It was my second concussion of the year. Part of also why, ending my career was, I was like, okay, I'm still healthy. I can walk. Don't want to sustain any more concussions. I got to the point, my mom, my friends are like, I think you should stop playing. But yes, there's a gruesome video somewhere on YouTube, probably.
Who was the guy that you watched growing up? Like a guy like Ronnie Lott, maybe, or who? How did you get to become the player that you were?
I didn't watch any football growing up.
Really?
I was a soccer player. The way football found me was because I got red carded in every soccer game. I fouled out at every AAU basketball game. And then I finally started playing football in middle school. You grow up down in San Antonio area, you're going to have to at least go out for football at some point.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, you can actually hit these people and it's allowed. There's no, you don't get in trouble for it. And so football kind of found me in that sense. And it just, luckily where I grew up, where I went to high school, football was a huge deal, Smithson Valley. And, that was really a huge part of my foundation of being able to make it to the NFL, to even get recruited to go to Rice. And so just even the coaching staff I had, very old school, hard nosed, really kind of ingrained a lot of those, kind of that mentality in me. And it kind of just stayed with me all through my whole life.
Old school, hard-nosed coaches. That's Larry Hill.
Yeah.
Could also be Mike Zimmer.
Yes, it could.
Mike Zimmer, rumored to be possible candidate to be the next defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. Thoughts?
Obviously I'm a fan of Zim. I was with Zim from 2014 on through his end of Minnesota, but he was old school. It reminded me of kind of my upbringing in football, just old school mentality, play tough, play physical. He was all about the hard work, the grind. I learned a lot from him defensively. And had some really good years in Minnesota when he was there, and so I think it would be cool to see a reunion. Him coming back to Dallas and whatnot. So I hope the best for him. I hope it works out. We'll see how that shakes down.
You think he fits the personnel, though? I mean, the way and it's just the evolution of things, right? I mean, kids have changed a little bit in the way they think. You think he still fits?
I think just because he's seen so much ball, he can tweak anything into, because even in Minnesota, like our defense started out as this really, heavy cover 4 zone. And then we got into this man match kind of cover 3, still all within his baby, so to speak. But I think you adapt as the game adapts, as the offenses adapt to these kind of, everyone's a receiver type body. Now you got to have guys that can cover all those guys. So now your linebackers are getting smaller. Now your safeties are kind of these hybrid nickel corner type guys. And that's just how the game evolves. And so I think just when you have that much experience, you know how to tweak all those things and get the right guys in the right spot. He's just seen so much ball. I think he could do a very good job with the personnel in Dallas.
Knowing the personnel that the Cowboys have, secondary types, but also Micah Parsons, who, and Dan Quinn was a great defensive coordinator until that last game, right? But, he was. But so many people, why isn't Micah playing more linebacker? Why is he always lining up as an edge rusher? What do you think Mike Zimmer would do with a player like Micah Parsons?
Zim has always done a good job of finding those couple of guys on the guys that change the game, and he'll find a way to scheme them up to get them in the best position to make plays. We did that in Minnesota. Everson Griffin, Danielle Hunter, Harrison Smith, Anthony Barr, all these guys that were great blitzers, obviously great edge rushers, and finding ways to move them around, get them in different schemes in order to change the game. So I think for him, he would be able to evaluate what these guys are good at and be able to get them in the right spots in order to make the plays that they need to make.
Defensive coordinator for a team. Is the Cowboys in any hurry? I mean, do they need to be in any hurry? It's not like college where you're recruiting, right?
I mean, I think that the defense is so stacked personnel wise that you don't have to. I think if you maybe were worried about there were some weaknesses in some areas, you might want to bring in that coordinator early so that you can address those issues in the draft and in free agency and whatnot. But there's so many players on that defense that you'll find the guys to kind of fit those roles.
Going to be interesting. Andrew Sendejo joining us here on the Blitz, working, getting a lot of Mike Zimmer questions today, but also BraintreeNutrition.com. You get out, you went to Rice, so you're smart. You got a lot of smart friends.
I got a lot of smart friends, and even smarter doctors on our medical consulting team that helped us formulate all these products. I launched Braintree Nutrition after prolonged head trauma, concussions, TBIs on myself and my teammates, and wanted to create a line of products to help enhance and preserve your cognitive function and brain health. So we set out and hired our medical consulting team to kind of validate these studies on certain ingredients that are backed by human clinical studies proven to be effective to help improve your focus, your memory, neuroprotection. We have products to help with your stress and anxiety. We have products to help with your sleep. We have products to help with your hydration, and just really trying to address these different areas to help improve your brain health. And like we always say, your brain health is your mental health. If you focus better, if you have a better memory, you're not forgetting where your keys are, you're not stressed, you're sleeping better, you're eating better, just overall kind of longevity. Those are the things that lead to kind of these mental health problems. And so we're on the forefront of degenerative brain disease. We donate a portion of our proceeds for every sale to Alzheimer's research. And after my last concussion, had a lot of focus, a lot of memory problems, and I've been almost restore kind of my brain health, by taking these products. Like I said, I give them to my mom, my dad, my family. I take them. So I am a customer of my own products. So you can go check us out, BraintreeNutrition.com. We have a 35% off sale, free shipping, money back guarantee. If you take the product and you decide you don't like it, we'll refund you your money. That's how confident we are in our products. So go check us out.
Well, I can say this: the sleep aid works.
The sleep is. We get a ton of good feedback on the sleep aid. I mean, almost. I'm not sure that we've had one person not like the sleep product. We use a branded form of tart cherry extract, which has been proven to reduce your time to fall asleep and increase your time being asleep. And so instead of a lot of people are taking, Benadryl and these diphenhydramines and stuff, you wake up super groggy. This is like your all natural. It has naturally occurring melatonin in it. And so sleep is really the foundation of all kind of mental health, physical health. So that's really, honestly, it's always, people are always into the products that help you focus better and remember things better. But really, I always promote first the natural way. There are natural ways to kind of do a lot of these things. Supplements are there to supplement what you're taking. They should not be your entire diet. And I'm even saying that as the business owner, I really should be on here saying you have to take these, but to be truthful, you can try. I always advise, try to do these the natural way. And if you can't, now we have something to help you, but I always push the sleep first, because that kind of creates a cascade of issues if you're not sleeping well. From a cognitive function standpoint, from your physical energy, your diet, your cravings, the sleep controls everything. So, a good night's sleep kind of can fix a lot of your issues.
BrainTreeNutrition.com is the website. It's good stuff, I promise. And the hydration, brain water.
The brain water.
Hydration, sure. But if you've been out drinking the night before, I don't know what you have in this, but you could sell it that way too, man.
Yeah, it's take your favorite hydration product and put it on steroids. Not put steroids in it, put it on steroids, and that's what our brain water is. It helps with cognitive function, physical endurance, mood. We have all the electrolytes, no sugar. It tastes amazing. Like I said, a lot of people are out here drinking all these sugar packs and all this different stuff, but hydration is a big part of your cognitive function. But yeah, if you're traveling, you're working, you're studying, you have to focus, you're drinking, you're working out, all those things, it can help improve all those areas.
BrainTreeNutrition.com. Andrew Sendejo, always good seeing you, my friend.
Sir, appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. More coming up from Vegas here on Radio Row. On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, let's talk about life's unexpected curveballs. You ever been hit with those challenges that kind of leave your smile in the dust? I got something that's uplifting for you, and it's all from Doctor's Implants. Life can throw some serious hurdles our way, and at Doctor's Implants, well, they meet patients every day facing the fallout of medical conditions, causing their teeth to go south. But here's the scoop. At Doctor's Implants, to bring back your smile no matter what life throws your way. They get it. So if health-related dental problems have been holding you back, don't lose hope. Doctor's Implants is your ticket to a fresh start. Check them out at doctorsimplants.com. And when you call them at 210-640-0000, mention that I sent you, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz. That's your key to a complimentary consultation and CT scan. Don't let life's challenges steal your smile. Call Doctor's Implants today. 210-640-0000.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
woo!
Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here!
Not up in here! Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind. There at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Attention all homeowners, do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-NEW-WINDOWS for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS right now. Don't wait. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS. 800-NEW-WINDOWS.
In Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Live in Las Vegas. AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics.
It's been a great first day, hasn't it? It really has, man. I tell you what, it's been a great first day. And it's just, we're just scratching the surface. Man, that guest list that we've got coming up the rest of the week is just off the chart.
Off the chart. Absolutely. And when you look ahead and you think about some of the people that are going to be on the morning huddle tomorrow morning. Brian Billick is going to be on, Robbie Gold. Rob loves talking to kickers, especially kickers named Rob. They're even going to talk to Mike McCarthy. I mean, there is so much going on. Not that Mike McCarthy, the dude that writes for Front Office Sports. There is so much going on because that guy's never been asked, how often do you get confused for the Cowboys head coach? Like, he's probably never, ever heard that joke.
Well, I just fell for it right now. I was saying, wait a minute, how'd they get Mike McCarthy?
Same reason they got Robbie Gold.
Uh-huh.
RJ Ochoa.
Is that right?
RJ Ochoa. Mort.
Uh-huh.
Mort. Morte. Yeah, I think it's sticking. Do you guys like Mort?
He looks like a Mort. Don't you think?
I don't know what a Mort looks like.
RJ.
What does a Mort look like?
Right there.
What does a Mort look like?
He looks like RJ Ochoa.
All right.
Just like that. Anybody got any family members named Mort or Morton? Marty?
Oh, I know Marty's,
but they're not.
But they're not Morts.
Mort is different.
I mean, Chris Mortensen, he was Mort, the Mort Report.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's too high level for RJ.
What would Mort be short for?
Morton?
Morton?
Well, it's Morton Salt.
Morton.
Literally, the whole nickname came from Mort, short for Morton Salt, because RJ is always salty.
Dude, that was a long time ago. I forgot.
It was less than an hour ago.
Exactly.
Literally,
a long time ago.
Literally, it was less than an hour ago. What the hell is going on here?
We got snacks being passed out here.
Oh, but look at what has happened. Hold on now. Schwampy has broken into the box of chips. Now, he's stolen chips from other tables here where they give you the free chips. But out of that box, there was one flavor that Joe was like, I'm claiming these. And what is in Schwampy's hands right now? He's eating your Fritos.
You see that?
You claimed them, and he's eating them.
Well, see, I can't let him.
He's going to claim he didn't know.
No, he's upset because I won't let him eat my Captain Crunch.
Well, see, it wasn't an issue in Oxnard. He knew, well, the chili cheese Fritos, man, that's Joe's, right? Joe buys it, right? Like, which box do you want? Well, get these because it's got Fritos in it.
It's all good. I'm fine. See, he throws me the Doritos. And I'm a
Dorito guy, so I'm going to take those.
Well, dude, you already broke your tooth on them. Maybe you ought to take up something else.
Well, I mean, that Dorito is long gone. I mean, the rest I've been eating Doritos a long time. There's only, look at that. He's going to give you
chili cheese.
He's going to give you a half-eaten bag of Fritos. His hand has been in there 8 different times. And he's already working today with a broken tooth. So he's got half a tooth in there crunching on Fritos, and he had popcorn earlier. That dentist that he's going to see tomorrow morning is going to really regret getting the call from the team doctor from the Las Vegas Raiders.
May need a little dental floss first, son. Just kind of clean him up in there. And
if you're watching on YouTube, Joe was really trying to go dental floss there.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been all kinds of different things, and nobody would have seen Joe doing that with his hands near his mouth and thought, well, that guy's flossing his teeth.
Only you guys with minds in the gutter. And that's the problem. You guys with minds in the gutter think that. Now, it was clearly a dental floss because you clearly a dental floss. I don't know how you could even expect it to be anything else.
The look on Schwampy's face is, you think I'm going to do what?
Well, depends on the bill.
Well, he might have to.
Yeah, there might be some flossing going on.
Oh, that's a great idea, Jim.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. Here in Vegas.
It stays in Vegas.
I was moving past your hand motions.
Okay.
I really was. The fact that we are sitting in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. You think about in the last couple of years how Vegas has changed from the perception of having a pro sports team here. The A's are moving. The Raiders are already here. They've got a hockey team. They have our WNBA team.
The NBA is the only one that doesn't have anything.
Not yet. You know, LeBron wants to change that, right? There's all of that. But the Super Bowl is here in Las Vegas. Next year, we're in New Orleans. We did, I don't know, was it 48 in New Orleans? San Francisco and Baltimore when the lights went out? Super Bowl 50 was in San Francisco. We're going back there pretty soon. Last year we were in Phoenix. We were in Phoenix before.
Yeah.
Yet a Super Bowl hasn't come back to Dallas since Super Bowl 45.
Jerry's not happy about it.
And Jerry is not happy about it. And he actually talked about that yesterday when he was announced that he would host in Dallas Stadium 9 World Cup games, but he's not going to get the final. But he was asked and talked about, what about getting another Super Bowl for North Texas?
Candidly, I do. Let me be very clear. I want another Super Bowl here. And we should have a Super Bowl here. We deserve a Super Bowl here. The exercise of going and doing what I've been a part of on this World Cup has shown me how qualified we are for a Super Bowl. There's a lot of nuances going into that, a little politics involved in these Super Bowls. So we've got to work through some of those problems. But it certainly wants me to take advantage of this great facility. And by the way, we're spending $250 million without what we're going to be spending for soccer. We're spending $250 million here in the next 18 months to make everything newer than newer. And also add some things to it along as we go. So on your way out, check you can eat off the floor down in the event area. That's purpose that way. So we want to keep this thing looking new. 20 years later, it's 15 years later, it looks pretty new. And it's the way it will always be. So we want to make these games a part of that. But more than anything, I want to influence the people that are sharing and showing the game, as I said earlier, not to the people that are here, but to the millions and millions that are out there. And if we put it on right, they'll be talking about not only our area we live in, but they'll be talking about a little bit of AT&T Stadium.
You know, and it's interesting because you think about Super Bowl 45 up there in Dallas. There was a ridiculous ice storm, and Dallas wasn't prepared for it. And that caused some issues. And remember, they were trying to get 100,000 people in there, so they put up some temporary seats.
Yep.
And that didn't work out all that well. Is that why Dallas hasn't gotten another one? I mean, why? I mean, Dallas is getting all these major events, 9 World Cup games. You think the World Series has been there. The All-Star Game
Big time boxing
is going there. I mean, and that stadium has hosted, you name it, and yet Super Bowl, you never hear him being a finalist. And you know Jerry wants it.
Well, but I think if Jerry really wanted it, he would get it. The fact that it's honestly, and I know it's supposedly the greatest city in the world for events, but why is New Orleans getting another Super Bowl? I mean, that stadium's been there forever.
Yeah, but it's been cleaned up. It's been cleaned up.
It's like cleaning up a 70s house. I mean, there's just some things that are going to stick in the corner that you can't get it up.
I know you hate New Orleans, but New Orleans is a great host city, kind of like San Antonio in the Final Four. It's walkable downtowns, and Dallas is not. And Dallas is, because the stadium's actually in Arlington and hotels are spread out. It's not walkable, but it is kind of laughable that the Cowboys and Jerry Jones haven't had an opportunity to host yet another Super Bowl. Also, some breaking news, kind of interesting. We're going to have our first ever Friday night NFL regular season game.
No.
Yeah. In Brazil. in Brazil.
Who's televising that?
We'll give you the details. Who do you think? We'll talk about it coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, live in Las Vegas. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage continues, brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro, especially if you need some winter gear. If it's, it's going to be cold, the rodeo's coming up, you need your logo on a jacket, a half zip, a hoodie, he'll get you taken care of. If you need hats done, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps. Sammy has all the big name brands like Eddie Bauer, North Face, Nike, Travis Matthew, Port Authority, to name a few. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Nobody has better prices, and Sam is the only company in Texas that offers one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. So call Sammy's Embroidery and Printing, 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, day 2 of Media Row. We'll look at what went down on the big media night. What was crazy? Who'd we see? Lots to report on.
The Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator situation continues to be fascinating. We have some thoughts, and we want the brigade bright and early with us at 6 a.m. to start. Bring the coffee and maybe a donut or two. We're ready to roll. We huddle up at 6.
We're from Washington. We love Febrez's new scent. Refresh and energize.
So much we made a song about it.
I can't escape this feeling inside. Refresh and energize. It's a mood, it's a vibe. Breathing for the first time. So free, so alive. Breathe happy for free. Smells like paradise. Breathe happy for free. La 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 la.
Hi, I'm Jade, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the savoriness of the sausage, the fluffiness of the egg, and the butteriness of the biscuit. It's amazing. The perfect start to my day.
Hi, everyone. It's Justin. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is the fluffy egg, the melted cheese, and the sizzling sausage. It's the start to your morning that you didn't know you need.
Order a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit and Simply Orange Juice on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
What's wrong, Cupid? Chris, I've lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people fall in love thanks to Kinetico, not poor old Cupid. You don't say. Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Kinetico water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick. Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow. I'll rub it in, Chris. I know a Kinetico runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Kinetico has it all.
This is Chris Canepa with Kinetico in San Antonio in the Hill Country. There's a reason people love their Kinetico. Right now, I'll let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Just call 656-PURE.
You know, you're right, Chris. I love my Kinetico, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me.
You serious, Chris?
But you're going to have to wear pants.
KineticoSA.com.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
It's the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Grind Appreciation Day celebration. Enter to win $5,000 cash, tailgating prizes, plus Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds when you pass the pigskin. Enter at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And make sure to pick up the protein-packed, bold flavors of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds today at HEB.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyer for us.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this? It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
It is the Blitz. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Ryan Eagleline, Jason Minutes. Wrapping up day one of our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage here in Vegas. Brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Love hearing Metallica. Heard they won a Grammy last night.
Metallica did?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I didn't watch any of the Grammys. I haven't read about any of the Grammys today. I saw Taylor won something.
Two things.
She won two things?
Yeah, and apparently she dissed Celine Dion, and that's what everybody's saying.
Dissed?
Yeah, because she just kind of, well, the way it was described, it was Celine Dion who was giving her the Grammy, and she just walked up there and said, "Give me that.
Give me that.
Give me that."
And he just took it away
Took
from
it
her.
away.
Like Deron Bland. Give me that.
I mean, the GOAT of Las Vegas, Celine Dion. How do you do that?
Well, she's not the GOAT.
Well, apparently that's what I thought. I was being sarcastic.
So Taylor Swift won a couple awards.
Yeah.
RJ Ochoa said 2 and now 4. I don't know what to believe.
Album of the year.
Huh? Oh, I said she won something. I didn't put a number on it.
I said 2. She won 4?
It was 4. Well, if one of us is going to be wrong, RJ, which one do you think it is, and why is it always Joe? Right? But I did see Metallica won. I really not paid much attention. I should, but I don't think I could have read anything last night when we got home.
I don't know. Award shows just don't do it for me anymore.
You know, I saw an artist, and I wish I could remember who said this the first time I saw this. And then I've seen other artists, and typically ones that don't win awards, say the same thing. Music is art. So now you're judging people on their art by giving them awards, which is putting down other people's art.
Yeah.
Just celebrate the music. And I think you determine your success based on, I don't know, sales.
Well, that's the beauty of sports, right? We have a scoreboard.
You have a scoreboard.
You know a winner, you know a loser, and it's not, well, I know some sports that are judges still.
Well, all right, non-Olympic sports.
Non-Olympic, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's like the district attorney the other day when I was in jury duty. There's more than one way to win a game. Actually, there's not. There's only one way to win. You have to have more points than the other team.
That's it.
That's it. That's it, sir. You're not on the jury. Thank you. Now, there's different ways to get to being able to win, but by definition, there's only one way to win.
So do you think he appreciated you making him look like a donkey?
Well, it was a lady. Her name was Meg. She was wonderful.
I'm sure.
Very, very nice lady. Very nice lady.
You kind of humiliated her.
I don't think so. All right. I don't think so.
We'll get Meg on the show and find out.
Yeah, we probably
if
won't.
She's traumatized.
I think she's going to be all right.
All right.
The National Football League announced just a few minutes ago that the Philadelphia Eagles will play as the designated team in the historic first ever regular season game in Brazil as a part of the international games. The game will be played on Friday, September 6th. the first time the NFL has played a game on Friday night of their opening weekend in over 50 years. Apparently, the Cardinals and Rams did it in 1970.
Well, I just hate that they're crossing that line. I mean, that night should be reserved for high school football.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it really should be. And I know more NFL is great, and everybody wants to, but that's a high school football night.
High school, I have a big problem with colleges playing on Friday nights. And generally they're in smaller conferences, so they get national exposure because even college coaches hate the idea of playing on Friday because Friday nights are sacred nights for high school football, but also they can't be out recruiting if they got a game on that Friday.
That's right.
I mean, it's twofold. It doesn't say who the Eagles are going to be playing. I guess that will be announced later. I feel bad for the people in Brazil that their first look at NFL football on their soil is the damn Eagles. But
well, Brazil. Does the NFL do studies to say that does Brazil want NFL football?
Yes.
Because I'll be so yes, they want it, or yes, they've done studies.
All of the above. And look, you take the NFL, and Jerry Jones, according to Jerry Jones, is one of the biggest auto dealers in Brazil. You look at the way these games sell out and how fast they sell out when they play their international series.
They have lotteries.
It is truly global. So this game is going to be a huge success. And if you're from there, this is your chance to see them. Or if you're an American, and you see this a lot with the games in Germany, the idea that especially service members, man, your team might be coming to Germany. I get to go see them play. It's another way to grow the game. The fact that it's a regular season game is one thing. The fact that they're playing the damn thing on a Friday night pisses me off. And I'm going to guess, is that because of time changes or because it's opening weekend?
Probably because of that. Because I don't think the time difference is that much.
Will there be a Thursday game, your traditional Thursday night game, the Friday game, but that also allows the Eagles and whoever they lose to get back to the States and to play the following Sunday. So they're not losing technical days of the work week by if they played on a Sunday and then they got back and say it's Tuesday with jet lag.
Well, it's not that. So Brazil from Las Vegas they're 5 hours ahead of us. So Central Time, they're 3 hours. Eastern Time, they're only 2 hours. So it's really not that big of a time difference as far as that goes. So that's a quick trip, right? It's almost like a Mexico trip. A little bit further.
Well, a little bit further, depending on what part of Mexico you're going to.
Well,
depends on where you're going from. I mean, if you're going from, I don't know, Toronto to Mexico, it'd probably be about the same.
We don't have a football team in Toronto.
Well, the Argonauts would disagree. They're not NFL, but I'm just saying,
They still have Canadian football? Really?
They do.
All right. I would thought they would have gotten rid of that with all the – and now we got USFL, XFL, this FL. I mean, seriously, the Canadian football, you never hear about it anymore. Except when the Grey Cup.
Well, that's the only time you hear about it unless you're looking for it and you know what the Grey Cup is.
Well, where the hell are you going to find it if you're looking for it? I mean, on a Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, I want to watch a little Canadian football. Where the hell do I go?
You Google the schedule, I suppose. I mean, how do you find out where? How do you find out what's on TV?
Well, I know, like the NFL is going to be on TV.
Okay.
College football, the NBA, I know where to find that.
Let's go college football. There's 81 different channels you could look at to find your game, or go to ESPN Plus.
Okay.
Right?
And your point is what?
Well, it's not like you're just going to one channel and it's there. I mean, if you really wanted to know, if you cared, which I know you don't, but if you cared and you wanted to know about Canadian football, you could Google it and easily find that out.
I would bet, and this is not a beer bet, but I would bet that in San Antonio, Texas, if I wanted to watch Canadian football, there's not a channel to watch it on. Now, maybe I can go on my computer somewhere and stream it, but I would have to
Well, you
dig
could stream on
and
your
dig
television.
and dig and dig. I could do that because that's what I do.
Yes. Yes, you could. But is it going to be on KSAT or KENS now?
No.
No.
Which is a problem.
Yeah. It's really not. Eloy Tiarina at Soy Eloy tweets at Joe Reinagle 210 at Jason Minix. You know those slot machines they have over there?
Uh-huh.
He wants us to spot them $10 and do the max bet. Here's the problem with their slot machines in the media center, NFL licensed slot machines.
They're not real.
They're not real.
No.
Well, I mean, so you can play them, but you're not going to win real money.
No.
And I don't believe they take money. At least that's what they told us yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Now, maybe she saw Joe and realized you look like a degenerate gambler, so it's probably not a good idea if this took real money.
You have a room full of degenerate gamblers.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what you have here.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people. But unfortunately, the ones at the casino we went to last night were real, very, and they took your money.
Yeah, but you got a lot of money out of one last night.
I really did. I got lucky with one. I sure did.
Yeah.
We're talking slot machines, yes.
What else would we be talking about?
I don't know. That goofy look on your face. You were trying to imply something else.
No, I wasn't. I was not. I'm just trying to figure out why they put slot machines in there that are useless.
Well, they're in you see some of those in different casinos.
But again,
I'm sure the NFL gets a cut of that, right? I mean,
it's licensing, of course.
Wow.
Absolutely. Pledge, you doing a show today, man?
You know it.
All right. Doing a whole hour?
That I am.
All right.
It's generally where you would jump in and talk about what you would have coming up in this next hour.
Well, I'm going to lead us up to tip-off of the college basketball game tonight. And, of course, talk about Radio Row, the things y'all did down there. The Dallas Cowboys, because no day on radio is complete without talking the Cowboys. But most importantly, more about the things that, like, Thomas Dimitroff said about, like, dealing with the Joneses or lack thereof.
Oh, so you're going to hate on the Cowboys in the next hour. See, that's your tease. That's your tease. I knew we'd get there. It's like pulling teeth sometimes, Pledge, but we got there. We got it out. It's like a 7 a.m. dentist appointment.
Nice. Wow.
It's good stuff. Extra innings with Pledge coming up next. Don't forget, Rob and Mort tomorrow morning for the morning huddle, day 2. Huh? Morte? Yeah, I'm not doing that. You're Mort. He's salty.
Mort sounds better.
Yeah, Mort.
Yeah.
Morte is too sophisticated.
No, that is. That sounds classy.
Yeah. Morte.
Yeah.
Morte. No,
Mort.
it's just
hey, Mort, you want to go get a beer?
Yeah. Oh, boy. Oh. If you need an electrician, you know Hill Electric is available to you 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house through the years. They've done fantastic work and have for over 3 decades. The family-owned Hill Electric have served San Antonio homes and businesses. Whatever your project is, they have the right service at the right price. Never a service charge, always free estimate.